Welcome, everybody, to the Making Awesome podcast. This is it's a very nice episode, 269. Nice.
No.
Oh, this is going to be a fun one. It's going to be a fun one. There's so much to talk about this week. I thought this week was going to be a little bit slower on news, but not only has it been really heavy on news, we actually have to take a couple of the subjects that happened this week, and we're pushing them to next week because otherwise it's going to muddy all the water, and this is going to be like a 7-hour episode.
Yep, I already started typing one into the doc, and Grant was like, that has to be next week. There's too much. Too much.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
There is a lot. And I don't actually know much of what's been going on because as a lot of people in the Discord for the $10 tier or higher have seen, I've been posting my random journey across the country with 700 plus miles to get a car that I still don't have yet.
Because you left too late and you trusted the British railway system.
In fairness,
no.
They ruined it even more because the heat made 2 trains derail.
Well, see, your trains might derail, ours just run into people. It's fine. It's normal. It's just how things go. But yeah, the main topics, we got the Prusa Plus update. So finally, Jacob, finally, the Prusa XL gets an update. It gets an update. So does the Core 1 Plus, which goes to Core 1 Plus Plus, even though they're calling it Core 1 Plus Gen 2. I refuse to go down that path. I'm calling it the Core 1 Plus Plus because it's funnier for me. I just got back from San Francisco.
Why not Plus Squared? They've missed the opportunity to throw Squared into it.
Oh, God. We can discuss the naming in a bit there, but I did just get back from San Francisco. Infimaker flew us out to take a look at their brand new K1. I am still waiting for my affiliate stuff to be available for that, so we'll touch on it, talk about it a little bit, but until the affiliate stuff is really 100% set up, I don't want to go too deep because there's a fair bit of money on the table from a affiliate thing, and we're trying to figure out a way to have anybody that uses our link, we can give them something extra, or they get signed up for some sort of, whatever. I don't exactly know how to do this yet, and that's something I'm trying to figure out, because the thing I hate about affiliate programs is that they only benefit the creator, they don't benefit the user, and I'm tired of that.
Yeah.
So we are trying to use like this one, since that's
really interesting because I've been looking at the same thing, but from a business side, because I don't like affiliate links because all they do is
and it's normally like the last click too, right?
Well, they pay the creator, the customer doesn't actually get a major benefit.
There is no benefit,
and the company loses a bit of money.
Yes,
and of all 3 of those, there has to be a better solution. Like, I've been playing with, what if the affiliate links could somehow give a discount for the customer? Like, say, we give a 10% discount, and then 5% of that discount value then goes back to the creator. So there's a reason to use the affiliate link, because then both the creator and the customer get some form of benefit.
I tried to negotiate that out with Infimaker, but it didn't work initially. So we will see what happens. But while we were there, we happened to help encrypt the internet over at Cloudflare, and we took a deeper look into things over at Lumafield, since literally we walked by both of their shops and decided, well, F it. The worst they're going to do is, kick us out. And yes, there is a bit of feedback from you. I don't know why.
Yeah, I'm seeing it, but I can't tell where it's from. Can you hear what it is?
I can hear myself sometimes.
You can hear your... Oh, that means the voice isolation is picking up.
Me as a voice,
the
yes.
other side. Yeah, but you as a voice.
For those that are looking...
if it's coming in through the headphones.
It might be. For those that are looking for a more deep dive into the Bamboo patent leaks and things like that, they literally just leaked, like, a day or 2 ago. There has not been enough time for us to go through it and really, like, compare and contrast between the index patents, all the other stuff that's going on. So I safely, I think that is a next week topic, just to keep things.
I mean, I would want to look through it in depth.
Yeah,
because I'm very curious for what are they doing different versus what are they doing the same that might be a breach.
Yes.
And I feel like there's going to be quite a lot of overlap.
There will be, and it all comes down to like exactly what INDX claims, and like exactly what Bamboo claims in the process as well. So, and yeah, like Jose says, you need a mic stand, boss man.
Oh no, what I'm annoyed with is this doesn't have a magnetic back. It's the only problem with the Go-Tos. There's no magnets on it.
Oh.
So I can't do the funny YouTube thing of magnetize it to a random thing.
Flip it over and put the actual large block of it against your chest, and then just have the clip on the outside of your shirt. That's what we would recommend. Cameraman Carl has, well, I guess that works too.
Does it work?
Yeah, works perfectly fine.
Oh, testing. Is there's no weird like noise from the movement? Nope. Brilliant.
Oh, you could stick them on your glasses. That's fair. Cameraman Carl uses Rode system, but his does have a magnet on it. So the only difference is now it looks like one of your nipples is glowing green.
I mean, I'd be okay with that.
Just painted it with
check if there's a magnet. I've got steel here. No,
your magnets. Camera cage isn't magnetic.
Well, no, the steel that's on the bottom of it has a magnet for the tool.
Okay, well.
But I'm actually using the Insta360 today because it's just so much easier to set up.
Told you.
I like using big camera, but I ran out of cables to charge big camera while we're filming.
And that Insta360 Link 2 is objectively a really, really nice a really nice camera.
It's really good.
And I guess while we're at it, make sure to leave a like, get subscribed if you haven't. Check out the sponsors. Links are below. And when we are done hanging out with you all live, we're going to go send you to go hang out with Mr. Steve Bills, who is a member for 39 months. And he is going to be finishing up the Micron build today. And he was telling me that there's going to be some of the like people involved in the Micron build with him live, which would be pretty cool. So when we're done, we'll send you guys over. But dude, so I've known about the Plus upgrades for about 3 months now. Vertigo. Crap. Sorry, Vertigo. They all have weird names. It's the Vertigo. Sorry. Thank you, Steve. Vertigo. Automated layers, Vertigo, Mark 1. See? That was definitely me testing Cunningham's Law. Yep, definitely me testing that.
Yep, definitely. 100%.
Yep. But yeah, so I've known about Prusa Plus for about 3 months now, and I've been pretty giddy about it because for a while it's felt like the Prusa XL has been like that redheaded stepchild of their lineup, right? Outside of the silicone. I was
surprised to see the announcement included the XL.
Me too.
The XL hasn't really had, other than trade shows where they're showing very niche, high expense, I'm not even going to call them upgrades, like side grades,
right,
to add new functionality. It's been left in the dust.
Yeah, I mean, you have the silicone tool head for the XL, right? But otherwise, the main gripe, right? And I was a day one XL pre-order, okay? It was before we were big enough to have like a real hardcore relationship with Prusa from a professional standpoint. But I'm still getting feedback from you. I don't know where it's coming from, Jacob, but I'm still getting feedback.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, even when you were talking, I was getting feedback. But
so
the issue that I had with it was like its cooling was not enough, right? The stock fan that Prusa has on the XL has the static pressure of a mouse fart and has the volumetric flow of a little bit more than a mouse fart. And their duct only cooled from one side. It was not anywhere near significant enough to be useful. And so it was like, so that the XL originally didn't ship, or maybe, I don't remember if it didn't ship with it, or I know initially it wasn't designed around Input Shaper. So if you don't run Input Shaper on the XL, it actually prints beautifully. It's just really freaking slow. And the cooling is more than adequate at that, at that level. But yeah, that doesn't work in modern day. And
No.
I
mean, Input Shaper had several levels of like unintended consequences for most printers. For example,
yes.
Raise 3D added an Input Shaper with their high-speed little clipper plugin. That just kills their printers because it wasn't designed for the speeds that Input Shaper allowed it to run at. So like it just imploded all the time. And another one was cooling. If you can run your printer 50% faster, suddenly you have 50% more material to cool per layer. And if your cooling fan was a bit anemic, it didn't tend to end well.
Right. And the XL's part cooling fan was so anemic that early on, one of the fans in our Discord, Ben, IPIND3D over on printables. It's In Phase Industries is what it stands for. He was a Sparky. Now he's doing a lot with helicopters and stuff like that. But Ben is Australian, so I can call him a Sparky. It's completely legal. Don't worry. But Ben had us scan a bare XL toolhead with our Artex Spider, which got, sub 0.1 millimeter accuracy without using tracking dots, which is, proper good. And he developed Project Mastodon from it. It's called Project Mastodon because initially his part cooling solution looked like the tusks of a mastodon. So Project Mastodon uses bigger blower fans. It requires a very, very, very slight modification to the left side gantry cover of the XL, just a bit of a Dremel tool, and you're done. But otherwise, it was like ages better, right? He developed his own 360 part cooling fan for it in collaboration with a different maker. It's all explained on his printables page, and he is understandably salty about all of this because it does look like a lot of the work that he did was just kind of taken and not really properly attributed.
No attribution.
Right. Like, I don't think that he minds that it was taken. I think he minds that he wasn't, like, involved in this process. And, they actively credit Stefan of CNC Kitchen with some of these upgrades and, some of the back and forth stuff, but nobody else. It's like, well, whoa, wait a minute.
It wouldn't have been too hard to, like, in the video, show, like, 3 or 4, like, maybe half-second clips of mods people have made in the community.
Well, like,
and just, like, you didn't even need their name in it, because just showing that these are community mods that informed the decision is enough of a nod to those creators that their work has been appreciated, versus taking it and just claiming it as your own.
Yeah, the new XL cooling, it's just better. It is better in pretty much every single way. I'm told that there is a new fan. I don't know what that looks like yet. Right?
Really wouldn't surprise me. Like, getting a good quality fan versus what you could bet. Like, for example, like when we were choosing the fans for C1, I've never done fan research before. I just bought fans. Like, people like, this is good brand. Turns out, can't trust that. We went through about 50 companies, all with roughly the same spec. And then we learned not all fans are the same. Even if they are made on the same production line, it's really the drivers, or it could be the material quality. And like, some fans will just perform 20-30% better. We even had one that was 110% faster in terms of like volumetric airflow, which is obviously the ones we chose in the end. But it's little things like that where you can accidentally choose an anemic fan, even though it's in the spec range for what you want.
I think the fan was appropriate. It was appropriate back before the machine got input shaper. As soon as the machine got input shaper, all of a sudden, this fan that was fine became not fine, and not even close to being fine. But now we look at on the XL5 toolhead, they've got a picture of the new cooling solution. It looks like it was taken directly out of the, Core 1, Core 1L, even the Mark 4S, right? The duct looks identical. They still chose to have the fan on the side like that. And I wholeheartedly disagree with it.
I have my complaints with side-mounted fans already.
We've got this beautiful front cover that easily can be modified to hold an effing fan. The only problem that you have is, as far as I'm aware, there is no electrical connection on that front carriage. But that's a simple circuit board. And those of us that have older XLs can't do this upgrade without buying new boards. And that's a bit of a challenge. So it ends up taking the cost of the upgrade to be pretty spicy.
How much is the cost? Because I've read through the blog, I watched the video, but I didn't see reference to the cost.
It would be smart if I had that available, but I don't. Give me a second to find it. Let's see. So I have 5 tool heads. I need 5 dwarf boards. It is $689 versus $500. Oh, it's $100 extra. Well, okay. I mean, well, I don't need. Okay, so the other thing is that it also comes with high flow nozzles. You can turn that off if you don't want it. So no nozzles.
Without high flow nozzles.
No nozzles, no dwarf boards, $400. If you need all 5 dwarf boards, you're looking at $500. Yeah. So
I'm gonna say no, I don't like it.
$20 circuit board is not bad, but
No, but it's the overall cost of it.
Well, here's the deal. I would get mad at Bamboo for doing it, so I'm mad at Prusa for doing it too. I understand why they did it, but there needed to be like some sort of knowledge, right? Of
knowledge.
Well, I mean, maybe they didn't know it at the time, right? It's like, so by being an early adopter, you're effectively punishing yourself in this case, which is a bummer. Now, to be clear, if you ordered an XL in the last 30 days, or you're ordering an XL now, all these upgrades are included. They cost you nothing. Okay. The price has not changed. Everything is the same. So you get a better machine for the same money. And as Rob Lutter says, resale value is going to plunge on old units. Yep. Great. Yeah. I only got to spend an extra $100.
Pick one up.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I'm surprisingly not happy with the cost of the upgrade. That's quite extreme just for a minor improvement.
Oh no. There's so much more to it. It picks up the nozzle offset system from INDX. So it uses the eddy sensor for that.
But the eddy sensors are cheap.
They're
really cheap.
It's built into a circuit board that sits on the bed, so that does your nozzle offsets. That is not for bed leveling. That's not a bed leveling
it's for nozzle calibration.
It's for nozzle calibration. The system to calibrate the nozzles on the XL objectively sucks. It's slow.
Yes, I will agree with that.
In my opinion, like Prusa tells you to do it every single time you change nozzles. I disagree. I say you do it when your nozzles are clean and then you never do it again. Because if your nozzles are even remotely dirty, that system gets annoyed. Well, now...
It's the whole medical thing for cancer. It's you don't check if you've got cancer every month. Because the chance of getting a false positive, and in this case, the dirt on the nozzle causing a misalignment, grows with every test.
It's not so much that. It's like, unless you put in a bent nozzle, what changes? Right? Like
I would only ever
what
do
changes?
That testing if you have a print failure.
I will say, in all my years of owning an XL, thousands upon thousands upon thousands of print hours, I think I've calibrated the nozzles twice, maybe.
Yeah.
It does have the new nozzle wiper, but I think the the big thing that people will enjoy with it, Prusa has made the switch. 1.5 GT belts are now a stock item
like
on their machines.
I really like that because
Yeah.
I think it was only last week we were talking about the radius for GT belt pulleys.
Correct.
1.5 GT has a smaller radius. That will make a massive difference for VFAs, and I agree with that change wholeheartedly.
Yes. Because, like, dude, the XL had some rough issues with VFAs, and my generalized understanding of why the VFAs occurred and why they occurred worse in some areas than others is because it's a cantilevered frame. There's no front support bar. So as that system moves back and forth, you're putting that front part of the XL under more force, right? And it could cause it to wiggle some. They've also upgraded the cooling on the boards themselves. Again, something that Ben is a little salty about because Ben, again, if you own an XL and you don't know about IPIND 3D on printables, your XL hates you. Okay, so the bed MCU on the XL overheats literally in Florida. Just being in the ambient air here in my shop is enough for the bed to overheat when it's running anything above PLA. So you have to install his fan mod. The fan mod just is powered by the 24 volt bed tile. So when the bed's turned on, so is the fan, and it's normally good enough. He also has a better fan upgrade for the back dwarf boards because they often can get too hot. And when the XL got to a certain point, it would just turn itself off.
I'm hating this more, Grant.
A bit of a problem.
I'm disliking this more.
Well,
so if I convert this into corporate speak, the customers have to pay for the privilege to get the printer that they said would work on materials so it doesn't overheat.
Kind of. It works in some climates, but in others it doesn't. And this brings me back to the when we had the Core 1L and its issues with not liking UPSs. Well, Prusa never checked that because they have a really, 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 really stable power grid. I have lost power 15 times in the last 7 days.
Yeah.
Now, is it
That's
for...
That is a lot.
Is it for an appreciable amount of time? No, it is not. I think one of them was an hour long. And so far, the Core 1L, which it's now on a different UPS, it's on a much larger UPS, has not complained. Now, I will say when I left for California, I turned it off. So if it did get angry, it wouldn't be angry for multiple days while the cat's here. And she has to hear beep, 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 beep all the time. So, like, I get that. But yeah, the cooling solution feels like they should have done that earlier, in my opinion. Because, like, one of my dwarf boards failed because of it. I've had issues, right? Now, at the same time, I don't print ABS on the XL. Like, it's just I don't have an enclosure.
I mean, it doesn't make sense. Well, like, even with the enclosure, it doesn't really get hot enough. And I will admit, the upgrade for the XL with the heater,
there it is.
That's a smart idea.
Yes,
but it does concern me a bit because a lot of those electronics are on steel and will transfer the heat.
Yeah, the issue of the entire printer becoming an oven. Gets pretty real.
Temperature difference makes a huge difference for motor longevity, for fan longevity. Like, anyone can Google it, but there's like known documentation for fans or motors where if it's rated for like 100,000 hours and you increase the temperature by 10 degrees from like ambient, that 100,000 actually drops like 10,000. And then if you increase it again, it's exponential in the degradation it does for those components.
I have beat the piss
60
out
is
of...
quite high.
I feel like we're not in a danger zone at all. I mean, I'm looking at like my GD plus 4s that routinely run at, I'm going to put air quotes over 65C because it's way closer to 80C because their entire system
That's impressive.
That's
stupid impressive.
Well, it's not supposed to run that hot. It just does. And And I've had no major issues with the boards and the motors. I've had issues with nozzles.
The boards will surprisingly be the most fine. Like, most electronic components are minimum rated for 85.
Okay.
And
I mean,
in reality, they do like the European style of testing, which is your minimum safety margin. There is still safety margin, not this is the maximum.
Yeah.
So, and it's like, take a heater, for example. You're never running your heaters at 100% duty cycle. Once it gets to temperature, it drops. And it's the same with all of these like micro boards that would be susceptible to heat, is unless you're running your motor at 100% duty cycle with your fans at 100% duty cycle, your heater constantly heating, you're never actually using a lot of the power draw requirement for those daughter boards.
Right.
So you never really get hot enough. Like, for example, like we were worried about the daughter board for C2 because it's a 75-degree heated chamber, and the MCU is rated for 115 degrees with that fake safety margin. And we actually measured it only got like 5 degrees above ambient for those parts.
Yeah, it takes a while for the heat soaking to get there.
Well, no, these are exposed directly in line because we wanted the opposite of heat soaking. We have it so as the head is moving, it can cool the part because it's got open airflow. And we noticed even if it was standing still, because a printer can never draw the maximum requirements of each component in a daughter board, you generally don't get overheat problems. Which also makes me quite annoyed for the upgrade path for the new Prusa line, that you're paying to now fix a problem that shouldn't have been there. And you couldn't use your machines in certain things. Like, we had a comment from, where is it? Something about Denmark, and it's gone away, and I can't find it. And I can't find the person, so I can't comment on them. But basically they said 20 to 25 degrees Celsius in a basement in Denmark, and those boards overheated. That's regular temperatures, and most of the world is hotter than that.
It's when you start running high temp stuff, and I think that most people that are using XLs for high temp have already figured this out. They've already installed the fan, and yeah, I get it. We shouldn't have to do that. We shouldn't. We just shouldn't. Yeah. And I don't currently have a good rebuttal to that, because when the XL first came out, because again, remember, it came out before Bamboo, right? Yeah. So back in my day, right, we just kind of understood that things weren't going to be perfectly polished. And within 3 months, Prusa would have a perfectly polished product, because a lot of it was going to be based upon the, what am I trying to say? Like, based upon the profiles, right, in Prusa Slicer, because that was back when it was like, it was probably Slick 3R Prusa edition back then, right? It was before it.
And I was okay with that. Like, I'm even okay now with companies not having perfect profiles, but improving them over time.
But here's the thing. The XL did get better profiles. It got better profiles. But the problems that were there, it's been 4 years at least.
Yeah.
And they were never fixed. And so the community was kind of forced to do it themselves. And yeah, look, I had to do a big PETG part. In fact, I can go grab them if you want to see what they were.
Oh, go on.
Instead of using my XL, I went to the HT90, because the HT90 is fully enclosed, heated chamber and all of that. Not going to have a dime of warp, period. The XL, probably going to warp a little bit. That's just how PETG in a big part like that works here in Florida. While I get that, if you're watching the chat, go ahead and thank the people that just donated.
I think that
we had 2 donations.
A general problem that I found with a lot of machines that not many people talk about.
Also, while Grant's moving, look, something that's not publicly released yet. Ooh.
Wait, please tell me you're not breaking a non-disclosure or an embargo on that.
I didn't sign anything.
Then it's fine. But yeah, Shogar with $20. The Gen 2 upgrade for targeted at index users is supposed to be announced this week. I'm interested in that because I thought this upgrade was already targeting index users with the eddy current positioning sensor.
And then we also had Russ with $10. Thank you, Russ. It's good to see you back in the chat, buddy. Nice to see you here. So what
Make
this
sure
is...
everyone likes the video, by the way. We've not done that. Like the video, subscribe.
25 likes, 100
that nobody uses.
177 viewers, 25 likes. But so this is actually like the first time where the trickle-down effect has actually worked a little bit. The XL Core 1... technically also the Core 1 Plus and the Core 1L got features from Index. That includes, does Index have a nozzle wiper pad? No, but it will. Index is going to get the nozzle wiper pad, but the eddy sensor, brother, I can't describe to you how good, like, that eddy sensor is. By the way, these are not the ones that I featured in Print Fix Friday. These are new ones that we I've been messing around with the settings a little bit, so you can actually see this is an unbent one, so I have to like kind of crack it a little bit to get it to move. It's like
a satisfying noise.
Ooh, you just you're gonna feel a slight, you know. It's like going to the chiropractor, right? But
when your chiropractor says something and then you can't walk afterwards.
So these are, and I'm very persnickety about this, these are 8-color cubes, but even the little connectors, similar colors will never touch similar colors. Because, you know, F it, why not? But this is the big part. This is the big part.
Okay.
It is 280 millimeters tall.
That's a gorgeous part.
Yep. All in white PETG. Scarf seams. I'm still working on the scarf seams. You can actually see the end of the scarf seam there.
I've also been struggling with them where they definitely work, but they're also...
You can see it a little bit.
Less noticeable, but more noticeable.
Yeah.
And I can't tell if I can dial it in perfectly or if I have to dial it in per material brand.
I think I have to just increase it more, but these were all done on the HT90. The print quality is... It's gorgeous. Really, really good. And again, like this is white. So if there's any amount, and you can see the scarf seam pretty obviously there, but you know, if there's any amount of BS, you'll friggin' see it in this. These are speaker pods for a 2019 Sea-Doo, a jet ski. A gentleman found some on eBay that were being 3D printed. He found where he could buy the file. He bought the file for $35. On eBay, they're selling for $350 a pair in PETG. I told him we will match $350 a pair in ABS, or we'll go to or ABS/ASA, or we will go to $250 for a pair out of PETG. And he was much happier to take that slight reduction in price to get them faster. So I chose to do this on the HT91 because this is a very circular part, and if there are still issues with the HT90, like I believe that there are, which did not come up in this, but 3 of these big prints without tightening the nozzle did not come out, but if there were issues, that's when you would see it. Yeah, so I didn't have any issues there, so there's a benefit.
Good.
Yeah, I think you just replied to it. Okay, yes, you did.
I did. But for anyone wondering, because it's been in the chat, All Clean does work on all the frostbite plates. It is actually less aggressive on them than
Have you actually
soap
checked
and water.
that?
Yes. Not by me personally,
Okay.
I should state.
Because they don't like alcohol.
I've had 2 comments back from people that have used it, and they've noticed it work completely fine. Okay. And I should say the alcohol content is only in the part 2, and it's less than 15%.
Okay.
It's actually a stabilizer, but it doesn't degrade.
Yeah, that's acceptable. And yes, that is the new Sunlu Inslogic E10, I think is what they call it. It is, and I've only had it for like 24 hours. It is the quietest effing dryer I've ever used.
Wow.
Like, it's not even close.
Explain to the people. Because I know a little bit, but I'm not gonna spoil
So
it.
it
This is
uses
your
it
thunder.
uses a molecular sieve and a PTC heater, but it has a vent on the back. That is the only time it's loud is when the vent moves. The vent is controlled by a little servo motor. You hear it goes,
That's cool.
and so this is my theory as to how it works. I haven't like really taken it apart yet to figure that out.
Yeah.
But it, I guess, absorbs the moisture with the molecular sieve, and then it, once all the moisture is absorbed, it turns on the heater to burn it off of the molecular sieve. That's when it opens the veins to get rid of the moisture out of the machine. I started at 46% ambient humidity and 26 degrees Celsius, according to the machine, which I think is low for both of them. We are
Yep.
currently at 15% ambient humidity and 27 degrees Celsius.
Okay. Do you want to know how it works? Because I actually know how this
I
works.
do not know how a molecular sieve works.
Okay.
And yeah, I don't.
This is a fancy desiccant bead.
Yes.
So instead of
I
it
know
being desiccant beads, these are alumina beads. They're basically a ceramic that does the same. And the downside of them is the benefit of them. They absorb a lot more moisture from the air. But the downside is to release that moisture, they need to get scorching hot.
Hence the
Hence
500
you've
watt
got the
PTC heater. But
Yeah.
dude, like, so there's one downside to it right now, but I already know how to fix it.
And they are perfectly reusable.
Yes.
They do not degrade.
Yeah, they're perfectly reusable. I knew that too. There's one downside. This is a drying cabinet. That's
Yep.
it. You can't print out of it. But a drill bit and a couple of push to connect fittings.
Nah, I wouldn't do that on these. And there's one reason. Molecular sieves are slow. They're not ungodly slow, but they are more sensitive to moisture intake. And by the looks of the size of their sieve, they've matched the size for probably what we did with our redesign of the lot. The amount of material is needed for the amount of reels. If you add holes, it is not going to be as efficient.
If you
and
plug those holes,
slow down drying quite a lot.
But if you plug the holes when they're not being used, what's the problem?
Good point. If you plug them, there should be no issue.
And so I am putting it what is in it right now? A roll of pure PA12 nylon, which is what we actually use to do the cold pulls on INDX that I definitely forgot to put back in the dryer before leaving for California. So it was out in ambient humidity in Florida for 3 days. Basically, it's 50% water at this point.
Yep.
An easy PA666 from Sunlu.
I like that material. It absorbs
it's a
like
nice
high heaven, but I like that material.
It's not bad for moisture absorbency. It's not pure nylon. There's something in it that it has the nylon properties that I need. Well, it's only good to like 80 Celsius. Beyond that, so obviously there's some other stuff, but it's got the flexibility and like proper handling of nylon that nylon gets, just doesn't get as hot. And
I think they blended personally a tiny little bit of TPU into it.
I don't know
on their data sheet, but it would explain the lowering of the temperature point for that material. Or they're just using a very unique resin, like base resin.
It is PA6.
I think they blended it.
Plus PA66. So I don't know. I don't know enough about it. This is something that we are working on with a new business venture that will be powered by 3D Musketeers. I will talk about it in a couple of weeks, kind of like when everything is ready. But suffice to say, this industry doesn't have enough real reviews that are done with objectivity in mind, with real testing equipment, with real numbers, and that kind of stuff. And it's about effing time we change that. So if that's the kind of thing that you're excited for, leave a like, get subscribed. It will be something that we talk about heavily here on the channel, because we will also be looking to hire people to assist us with this build. But yes, so there's also a roll of Ultem 1010 in it.
Ooh.
So if you really
I mean,
want
that's one
to...
of the materials that I will be interested to see if it works.
Exactly.
Do we know how hot it gets?
I mean, it's at 20... It's 1 degree above where it was when I put it all together last night. And it's
Okay,
30% ambient lower than where it was.
Okay, so they're doing just the sieve at the moment. They're not doing heat assistive.
I believe,
absorption.
yeah, I believe the heater's only to dry out the sieve. Which, I will tell you, super freaking cool. From a, and not just for a dryer, but I'm looking at for other hobbies. Like, I love camera gear, right? And lenses, especially old lenses, can get mildew in them, right? How do you stop that? Drying cabinets.
One of them.
And drying cabinets are often ungodly expensive. I have no idea what the end result of this is going to be price-wise. They have not shared that with me.
It shouldn't be too bad. Like the alumina beads are actually quite cheap. The heater may be a bit expensive, but it can't be more than $500. I'd probably say it's about 200 to 300.
Like, this to me is a storage cabinet. This is where you put your exotic materials instead of putting them into sealed bags with desiccant. This is where you put it. Oh, I also have the 1 kilogram of desiccant. It might be more than that, but it was a huge bag of desiccant that came with the HT90. That's in there too. I have a lot more desiccant that's sitting in one of my safes, which I'm just going to put air quotes around because I don't want to say what's in the safe, but I think you all can figure it out because it's Florida. So I have also taken those out. I have a drying rod in there, which is definitely basically an aquarium heater that just keeps the safe warm. And it's like 8 watts. But I've taken those desiccants out to let them absorb moisture, and then I'm going to put them in there to see how long it takes.
That'd be interesting.
If this is lower...
I mean, I would be very interested to see how fast it can dry a full batch of, like, Petri, for example.
I mean, I just want to put water in it.
Well, I wouldn't do that, because it's hard to get the surface area to show absorption. A filament has a lot of surface area with low humidity inside it. Water is very dense, so your surface area where you would absorb the moisture is quite low. But if you get because on their picture they're showing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're showing 10 reels.
Yeah, you could fit 10 kilos
on the front. That's a lot. It's a lot. No, for example, this is actually perfect. This is the same capacity, give or take, as the LOP. And I've had to calculate usable drying.
This is it.
Oh, go on.
Philadelphia I-10. That's
Philadelphia I-10.
Yep.
But no, I've had
I even got a nice little note about being one of the first, but it doesn't say I can't talk about it. So
no, that is okay.
But yeah,
anyway, going back on. One of the biggest problems we've been having with the LOP, hence why we're redesigning it already, was drying. If we only use heaters, it's like a kilowatt of heaters to dry 10 kilos of material, because we can have 2 3 kilos and then 3 1 kilos, or 2 5 kilo rolls. And what if somebody, because this is an industrial printer, what if somebody wants to put in mostly nylon, the most absorptive material?
There's your specs.
So oh god. Oh, let me have a look. I'm getting in close.
500 watts worth of max operating power. That's
nice.
Pretty simple. Their humidity and temperature range is plus or minus 5%, which is a bit of a bummer, but that's fine.
It says their baking power is only 100 watts.
Yes, so I'm assuming.
So where's the other 400 watts coming from?
I'm assuming that's going to be the heater for the molecular sieve. There's no way to set a temperature. You can't set temperature.
Interesting.
So I set it at 15% ambient humidity because I feel like that's fair. That's not the 10% which is as low as it goes. And I wanted to see how long it would take, and it just went up to 18. But yeah, it's dead effing quiet, which Oh my God. Huge. Those, like, the S4 is loud. The S2 is quiet, but it doesn't do a good job. This would be a big deal. And I would look at building filament storage around those dryers if they are as good as they say they are. And the money is right.
Not convinced. I think this will be overpriced for what it is because they are using quite big words like molecular sieve.
Well, that's what it's called. What else would you call it?
It's as Sembazaru says, look up continuous use desiccant air dryer. Because this leans perfectly into what our own solution was for the C2 lot, which is a continuous use desiccant air dryer. Desiccant is a molecular sieve. It's just the fancy science way for it. And it comes back to what if you want to put in reels of nylon, how fast can you expect them to release their moisture? And it's quite easy to calculate. Like if you go down into the science, assume the outside air is always at 0% humidity. No, this is just the math. Assume it's 0% humidity,
right?
And you have a wet, like 30% wet roll of nylon. It'll take like 4 or 5 days. The only way you can speed it up is heat. So in the C2, we're doing heat-assisted continuous air drying, and we're using 15 kilos of desiccant, which we're blowing air through with high-pressure air fans, so the air is uniformly dispersed throughout the desiccant. It has enough drying power to dry the air in 40 seconds down to 10% humidity from ambient. But that doesn't mean it will dry your filament that quickly. It still will take like half a day to dry all of the filaments that are in there.
That's pretty nuts,
because molecular sieves aren't fast.
They're inefficient.
They're very efficient, but they're not fast. And it's because your limitation is the material. It's the material of the reel. How fast does it release that moisture?
Okay. See, this is where, like, science is lost on me, because, like, I have 6 years of college, but none of it's involving science. Well, okay, I took like, physics classes as electives, okay, but I have business degrees. Like, in fundraising, of all things, too. Like, the science behind molecular sieves, completely lost on me, but I'm excited to try it out.
Oh, no, you should be excited. If this works anywhere similar to the way that we figured out ours, it should be one of the best drying systems.
It's got like a real door seal, which is nice, like a real rubber gasket door seal.
That's really nice.
Alphanumeric, good job on making me figure out what your name was. Said Sunlu mailed their customers about this cabinet 2 days back. When I looked at the specs, it seemed like only a storage solution, not a dryer option. So after your dryer, you put it in there. And that Alphanumeric has used molecular sieves for 4 months now in their dry boxes. They keep the moisture down below 10%, but that is jog drying. I don't know what jog drying is, but whatever.
It's slow drying.
Yeah, I don't care if it takes 3 days, 4 days. If it is as quiet as this is, and if it is less than, if they're under $200, I will.
If it's under $200, it's worth it.
If it's under $200, I'll probably buy another 3. Assuming
if it's over, I wouldn't say it's worth it though.
I think it's going to be over a little bit.
Do you know why? You can buy these beads for pennies on the kilo. These are they're an industrial mass manufactured product. Is alumina beads. You can even make your own one at home with desiccant beads and getting just a metal plate, like one of the chiplets from a Prusa XL, like one of the bed chiplets. Like, use that. Put a little box of desiccant on there, just your regular silicon desiccant, and add a fan that has those fan activated baffles at the back. You've made the same thing as this.
Oh, okay. So they actually show all of this. All right. On their page. So there is a page for it. So step 1 is absorb. Molecular sieve absorbs moisture from the air. 2, restore. PTC heating releases the absorbed moisture. 3, cool. Yep. System cools down to restore absorption capacity. 4, repeat. So, yeah. I mean, look, I'm excited for this.
This is good. I do like this. I want everyone to know that I'm not boo-booing this tech because it's really cool. I just want to make sure everyone's aware.
Oh yeah, you can stack them.
It's not. It's not fancy. Like it's not an electrolytic dehumidifier where you've got two membranes and you're passing a current through, and the air gets separated into hydrogen and oxygen and recombines on the other side. Because we were looking into that again for the C2. Like that is the perfect solution because it runs very low power and it's basically a one-way valve for moisture. It will suck moisture in and throw it out the other side, leaving one side very dry. But those dryers are like $500 for a small cube that will only do like 0.5 meter squared a day.
So I forget who specifically said it, but they said, you know, the idea is that this keeps filament dry. Yeah, it's not a dryer. It is a dehumidifier. So it literally says filament drying cabinet keeps filament dry, best for daily storage. You know, it's continuous use. It absorbs moisture from the air. A 1/4 kilowatt hour in 24 hours, which is effectively 0 energy draw. So where I'm at, it's about 17 cents a kilowatt hour. So we're looking at like a nickel a day to keep it running. Like I won't even notice that. Running the HT90 for an 8-hour print will cost me more money than this will cost me all month. But yeah, it's noise.
I like this.
The noise level.
I like it stackable.
Oh, dude, yeah, the stackable. Yeah, I see the stackable now. I agree.
That's where it's interesting.
As long as the price point is right. God, and they don't even open pre-orders until September.
Well, do you know what tells me it's going to be relatively cheap? Pay $1, get $10 off your order. It's not a big knockoff. Like every time like Bamboo has done something, it hasn't been like $25 or $50.
Yeah, it's normally like 50 saves you 200 or something crazy. Yeah,
this is $10.
Yeah,
meaning this could really be $100 endpoint or maybe $150.
It's too big. I can tell you exactly what it costs to ship it to me, but I don't think they'd want me sharing that. But I will tell you it is expensive.
They could be doing what some companies do, which is they price it low and they make you pay for shipping.
Don't know, couldn't tell you, but so far, my experience with it, I'm going to give it a thumbs up. Now,
I mean, it could even come flat packed because it is.
It's not. It comes fully assembled.
I'm not complaining.
No, I'm not either.
Like, I like its stackability. It's also, I like the door. You can see what's in it.
It's dark. It would be nice to have some LEDs in there. There are not LEDs inside of it, but no, I really like this. From a usability standpoint, I'm very happy with it. Now knowing that it is not an actual like dryer, I'm gonna probably set the relative humidity inside of it as low as I possibly can and say F it. It says PLA wants 15 to 25% ambient humidity, but it can handle lower. But yeah, I am cautiously optimistic about this because unlike other Sunlu dryers, it's not going to overheat my damn filament. The S4 that I have, it's great, but you have to set it like 15C lower than where you want it because the exhaust from the S4 blows right onto your filament, and that has a tendency to get too hot. So, anyways, I'm excited for that.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah,
it looks good as well. I've got to say, like, there's a couple of people in the chat being like the Holzhofer, I can never pronounce it right, the Holzhofer spool dryer box, because I've seen it before. It looked interesting. I was tempted to get one. This looks pretty. This actually looks like a piece of equipment I'd want to buy versus a industrial oven.
I've never heard of Holzhofer, but
that one. It's pretty interesting. It's got the holes in the back so you can feed your filament out of it. Which I kind of like, and to be honest, I'd probably do.
A drill bit and 5 minutes means I have the holes that I need in this, and I have them where I want them. It is kind of a bummer that it's not there, but it's clear that they're saying that this is more for filament storage. Fine. I still like it. It's really effing quiet. which is a huge benefit. But yeah, while I got that big PETG part that I chose to run on the HT90, I figured I would grab some of the index stuff. So what we talked about in Print Fix Friday was that the cooling isn't great, and you can still see some cooling issues on those edges on the Index Founders Edition. But these are new ones that I made because I realized Carl's right. These make for really, really good giveaway pieces because they don't take very long. I can do 10 of them in just under 18 hours. So 2 hours a piece, 876 tool changes or nozzle changes or filament changes, whatever you want to call it. If you do just one of them, it is 4.5 hours though. So there is absolutely a benefit to doing multiples of these on Index. But once so I don't know if you saw Print Fix Friday, but one of my Index heads was clogged and I didn't know it. I thought it was the filament. And so I ended up changing out. So the big Index tool head that I made, it has an issue with the green. Thankfully, the green... I
remember you telling me about
that. Yeah, the green, thankfully, only is like 15 grams. So it's really,
So nothing.
You weren't really able to see it. Now, from 3 feet away, you won't even notice that it's messed up. But once you get closer, it's like, oh yeah, it had some extrusion issues. Well, I tried making the cubes... And what is green, I had as a different color. Because I'm like, oh, okay, maybe it is just the green, right? Makes total sense. Turns out, no. In fact, that tool head, that tool was clogged. And so
interesting.
I spent some time unclogging it. Now, the community, bless their hearts, have made a website to generate G-code for the Index to enable it to do cold pulls. Mine did not work. The G-code worked, but it didn't cold pull as expected. And so I was manually cold pulling and I kept breaking PLA in it. I said, all right, F this. I'm going to torch it, which I am well aware has some challenges associated with it, right? One, getting the silk.
Did you melt one of the holders?
No, I took it off the holder. It's one E-clip and the whole thing drops out. So it's don't... I'm not as dumb as I look.
You are the exact person.
I'm not.
I'll just torch it.
I'm not as dumb as I look.
Forget to be like, oh yeah, I could have removed it. I could have just taken it off. I could see you doing that because I would do that.
Thank God I'm not as dumb as I look. So I was going to use the machine to heat up the nozzle, but the process of heating it up and then parking it, and it instantly turns on the cooling fans to cool down the hot end. It was enough to where I couldn't get the nylon to feed fast enough. So I said, F it. I'm going to take the Index head off. I'm going to pull it apart. I'm going to remove the silicone sock, which is really difficult. They're very, very thin silicone socks. You have to be very careful when you do that. I tore mine a little bit, but it's not in an area that matters, so I don't care. You have to make sure that you don't touch the flat on it because that flat can be an issue. And I made sure not to torch it anywhere near the flat, but I used the torch to warm it up. Could I have put it into a special rig that warmed it up correctly? Probably, but I didn't.
Do you know what I do for my cold pulls when I can't be bothered to disassemble a Hemera because they're the worst designed for like repairability? Nope. I take the cooling fan off the heatsink and I let it slowly rise as the heat travels. Yeah. And after 20 minutes, it's all about 100 degrees and I can do a cold pull that way.
You can't do that with Index easily, so I didn't bother, and it's just not something that I wanted to do right now. I will tell you, I got a really good clean cold pull to the point where you could see the 3 paths of the filament. So I did that a few times. And
did you get it out? Did it work?
Apparently, because this and 9 others printed perfectly fine.
Good.
Yep. So I'm very happy.
I do find randomly sometimes PLA just like crystallizes, and I think it is the sugar. I think like some of the sugar like separates out and just stuff.
From the corn side of it, right?
Yeah, it depends on what your batch is made of, but it could be cornstarch, potato starch, sugar beet. I know a lot of the UK stuff is sugar, like literal sugar cane and sugar beet makes our filaments. But it's just a starch. And I swear, like, sometimes I get the worst with matte PLA. And I know they add extra sugar to it.
Cragord, yeah, Cragord, is asking, aren't I the one that shot a nozzle across my garage? Yep. There it is. There's the CHT insert, because that was before I realized they were just pressed in there and they weren't staked in there, and I was trying to push through with a metal rod. I didn't do that this time. I did a real cold pull. And yes, there is someone...
You can't use a metal rod with...
No, you can't.
Index.
I'm aware of this, yeah.
I mean, in theory, you could use 3 very small metal rods, like a...
No,
but I wouldn't.
I'm good.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Also, like, everybody forgets the metal rod problem. If you've got a jam at the tip, like a bit of swarf or a bit of contaminant, you're just gonna break it. You can't use a ramrod in that manner.
Nope. You'll push the CHT part out. Ask me how I know.
Do you know what I like doing now? And it is, you're gonna look at me very badly after I tell you this. Methylamine.
Methylamine.
Yeah.
Why methylamine?
It blends all polymers.
You mean
it liquefies them.
You mean methylene chloride?
That's it. Yeah.
Methylamine is like one of the chemicals they use to make meth on Breaking Bad. DCM, dichloromethane or methylene chloride, of which I have some in this slightly bulged bucket paint thing because it's sealed, and DCM is very, very reactive to temperature. Yeah,
it is a DNA blender.
It is a DNA blender.
Don't just get this chemical.
No, you need to know what you're doing.
It will give you hypercancer, and I'm not using hyperbole. It will blend your DNA into a polymer with the polymer.
Blunt tip needle, don't worry about it. We use syringes for it, and it melts the syringes over time. You can really only reuse the syringe like 3 or 4 times max, because
do you know what I'd recommend for that?
Glass syringe.
Yep, for veterinarians.
But I just don't care enough. I don't care enough. I just don't care enough.
I dunk nozzles in that, and it just liquefies everything out.
It does, and it would, right? I thought about acetone. I thought about DCM. That is kind of cheating. And I was really...
It is cheating.
And I was on a timetable. So I figured out it was clogged around 11 p.m. Sunday night, and I needed to leave my house at 4 a.m. Monday morning to get to the airport for a 6:30 flight. Yes, yeah, for a 6:30 flight, so I could be in California by 9:30 in the morning, so I could meet Carl there. We could get set up. Yep. We could start. You know, we had Tuesday was our work day, but we had Monday and Wednesday for ourselves. So I said, F it, I'm going to fly in as early as humanly possible and leave as late as humanly possible. Leaving late as humanly possible was a bad idea. I'll talk about it later, but yeah, so I just said, screw it. I'm going to cold pull it, because DCM would probably be done when I got back. And I wanted to bring...
It's surprisingly fast. It only will take like an hour. Now, I would say I do heat my DCM. I am a bit...
Oh, yeah, no. I don't do that.
But I've got a temperature control bed. It's the same as lab equipment, just in a printer shape.
Yeah, so except it's now you're aerosolizing the DCM.
Not that hot. Maybe only like 40 degrees. Which is enough to like speed up the activation rate.
Don't do this, kids. Please don't.
This is very dodgy.
Yeah,
do not copy what I do.
I get
one of those like...
On a good side, it's very dangerous.
And I've got a screw-on lid for it, and I just fill it up with the DMC, and I dunk the nozzles in, and I close it, and I leave it on the bed, and I come back a couple hours later, and they are spotless.
Yeah.
And it does work. The downside is if you're doing carbon fiber stuff, you still need to flow something through it to get rid of the fibers, because you have now just random fibers in your nozzle.
Yep.
But they're not binded with anything.
I'm not going to give any of our stamp of approval on what Jacob does in general. I don't even but this specifically, no. Don't do this.
I am the health and safety officer at Construct 3D, and even I was like, we should not be doing this.
F it, I'm gonna do it
This is a health and safety failure. But me personally, I'm still going to do it because I'm a lazy bastard who doesn't care about my own DNA.
So, for reference, people that like the good sticky gloop, its main carrier is methylene chloride, DCM. So methylene chloride, I call it methylene chloride. A lot of people call it dichloromethane, DCM. DMC's DeLorean motor car, so that's wrong too, but RIP to them. It is banned in the US. You have to buy it in small quantities, but I get mine from BVV. Literally, the website's bvv.com.
Yep.
I get it from them. You order the quart bottles because the quart bottles don't require special chemical transportation, and they cost about the same as the gallon. So I order those in. Their bottles are not the best. They end up weeping over time. So I pour it into,
which is bad.
I pour it into paint cans. So I buy those metal paint cans, pour them in. That's a gallon. So I pour the 4 quarts in there, close it, and
whenever I get mine, they come with glass jars. Like, I can only get them in small quantities because it's still a controlled substance. Not because it is like you can use it for a lot of things, which you can if you're doing any form of like organic chemistry. You can make anything with this because it is the blender liquid.
Be careful with chemicals,
which
kids.
You could probably imagine why it's controlled so heavily, but also because its safety rating is.
I should point out that in the States, methylene chloride was banned for sale to end users on like non-chemical sites by the Trump administration. And if that tells you how dangerous it is, you know, I mean, guys, come on. It wasn't a Democrat that banned the chemical. It was a Republican that banned a chemical.
Oh, that should tell you quite a lot.
That should tell you quite a lot about how dangerous this stuff is. So do not get it on your hands. It is very, very thin. It flows better than water, but dude, there's nothing better for bonding parts together than pure DCM.
Oh, and if anyone is going to work around it, it's actually, if you're just using like nitrile gloves, it's safer not to even use nitrile gloves.
Don't use nitrile.
Don't use nitrile gloves. Just use your hands if you have to. In reality, get a level 3 chemical protection glove.
Yes.
Because that's what you want. And if you get any on, you have to take your gloves off.
Yeah.
It buys time, not protection.
It will bind the nitrile glove to your skin. And Sanjay talked about this in my interview with him. You guys can go back to it. It was a while ago, obviously, but he talked about basically handling DCM with his bare hands and how over the years of doing it, the tips of his fingers were very tough and like hard because plastic had dissolved into the DCM. The DCM is still thin enough to get past the layer into your pores and things like that. And then the DCM evaporates, or I don't know if evaporates is the right word, but it evaporates off and it leaves the friggin' plastic underneath your skin. TechDeeper says, wait.
Get macroplastics in your body, not microplastics.
TechDeeper said, wait, so spreading nano on my bed with my hand isn't advice. I don't actually know what's in nanopolymer adhesive. I don't think it's DCM.
But
it's probably not
the information I have on
recommended
nanopolymer, mostly because I don't want Vision Miner to have their secret formula out on the internet.
I will now bother Rob about it because now I want to know. Oh, okay. According to SoundSpark, the ban, the timeline started during the Biden administration. The Trump administration just let the regulation continue along. I was able to buy DCM on eBay all through the Biden administration, but it was like 6 months into the Trump administration when all the eBay listings just disappeared. So, you know, yeah. And TechDeeper, don't do what I did, which is with your nanopolymer adhesive, use a paper towel to spread it around. Don't be an idiot because it just absorbs into the paper towel. Get a silicone spatula from the $1.25 tree and use that. That works way more better. Back to the Prusa Plus stuff though. I am happy with the new upgrade path. I think it's good. They have a very bamboo A1 style silicone wiper, but I think there is some pretty valid, in my opinion, criticism regarding that wiper. It looks like it moves with the bed, so you can't wipe every single tool during the print. So you're still stuck doing the wiper mod that a lot of us do, which is you use a brass brush and you mount it so when the tool docks and undocks, it goes through it. And that's generally good enough. I will say that's better than nothing. right? A lot of us, like, I have a paper towel near the XL, so as it is purging before it goes back, I can quickly wipe with a dry paper towel to clean off the nozzle itself. It is nice to see a wiper, but I would like to see it on a per tool basis. I think that would be much more effective in my opinion. But yeah, I do like the eddy current sensor though. I think that's a much needed upgrade. What do you think there?
Yeah, I really like that. It's one of those features that you don't know you want until you have it,
dude,
and then you can't go back.
Like,
and if you've ever felt a feature that is, oh, I'm never buying a printer unless it has this feature, you don't really understand. But that level of like user quality service feels great. Like, not needing to worry about nozzle alignment is something that, like, people have tried solving it before with cameras, which I quite like because it looks cool. But in reality, an eddy current sensor for nozzle positioning is smart.
I'd be
it
curious.
Speeds everything up. It's really easy to use.
Yeah, I wonder how
in
close
theory,
you can
even
get.
do depth sensing.
Well, and they're also enabling something that I think has been needed for a while: automatic pressure advance calibration using the load cells. So finally, the freaking load cell is getting more use. Like, Prusa has hinted at this, and the community figured it out very quickly, and so they never really denied it. But they've been hinting at this for like 5 years now, that the Nextruder, because of its added load cells and its added temperature sensing, can detect clogs. It can detect pressure advance. It can even detect when you are running your hot end too fast. Like when you're running the material too fast. It can also obviously detect when it is starting to get too warm in the chamber and alert you to it. Mine has done that, even though mine is not in the chamber.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, just on a side tangent, I'm posting in the chat an eBay listing that is so dodgy.
What is this?
Methylene chloride. It's DMC.
DCM.
But they're shipping it. It's DCM.
That is a great
no, it is
price.
DMC. Yeah, it's dimethyl chloride.
Dichloromethane.
Is it? Oh,
yes.
I keep getting it wrong.
You do.
DCM.
Well,
yeah.
It won't ship to me, but that is a great price. Oh no, it's a little bit more than a gallon. That's about what I pay. That's about what I pay right now. Yeah. I mean,
oh wait, no, there's another. There's another 10 liters, so 2 gallons for 70 pounds.
That's a good price.
I've never bought it from eBay before, but I wouldn't trust it personally.
I used to for many years. It was great.
I mean, they're coming in polypropylene tubs.
Just try it. I mean, see what happens.
Like, the moment you buy it, you get these for anyone who decides to do it. Change the container. It will eat through it.
Put it in a metal container. Put it in a non-plastic lined metal container.
5 liters of DCM covering your shop floor, because suddenly you don't have a shop floor anymore.
Oh, you won't even know it happened.
A hole.
If you're not there when it happens, you won't know that it happened. It'll evaporate so quickly. The thing you will notice is it'll be harder to breathe. So if you're not in the same room and it happens when you're in your shop, it'll be harder to breathe, because one of the byproducts of methylene chloride when it starts to evaporate is carbon monoxide.
Yeah. And you don't need a lot of that to be very dangerous.
Safe. Please be safe. Please be safe.
Also, this is what I say to anyone who, like, strips paint. Paint stripper tends to be DCM.
Yes. Yeah, there is some in
Always
that.
Always wear proper PPE.
I found in the US, if you get the Plastruck bonding, it's basically pure DCM. It even says contains dichloromethane. And with how thin it is, I'm almost positive this is just pure DCM.
I remember when hobby shops used to sell that for, like, Airfix models or Warhammer models, and I was just looking at it being like, 100% some kid is gonna lick this because it's a hobby, and nobody expects turbo cancer chemicals to be the glue you use for certain models. But it's there. It's why a lot of like the FX models went over to an ABS blend, so they could use acetone instead.
Yep.
Because acetone is a lot less dangerous than DCM.
Yep. So
I hate DCM. I should say. Anyone watching, I don't recommend.
Yeah, please don't.
This is my safety warning. Do not buy it unless you know what you're doing. Do not buy it unless you actually have to buy it. And if you have to buy it, find multiple alternative workarounds before you have to buy it. It is a chemical that is not fun. And while I've been making it out like I play a bit fast and loose with the safety of it, I like living. And this is one of those chemicals that will stop you from doing that relatively fast. Don't mess with it.
So Prusa's also upgrading the enclosure, right? So we have, I don't see it.
Do we have a picture of that?
Well,
I don't know how they could upgrade the enclosure unless they go to the third-party mod that made it a hard outer shell.
So the enclosure for the XL Plus is $859, which is it's a very expensive enclosure. Like,
that's so expensive.
Look, I'm not saying that it's just a better move. Instead of spending $859, just go buy a Snapmaker U1 and spend an extra $150 on their top hat. But like,
I'm starting to.
It's a lot of money for an enclosure. Now,
do we know what the upgrade cost is for the Core 1L or the Core 1?
Oh, sorry. So if you have the original XL enclosure, it is a $250 upgrade to go to the XL Plus, which includes the heater.
Okay. That's not too bad. But that implies that you already have it.
That does imply you already have it. Let me see what else we got here. That's the XL. Do I have 2 pages open with the XL? I probably do. Let me just check upgrades real quick. So Core 1 to Core 1L to Core 1L Plus, $25 US. Real cheap. So that includes
they've done a good job on that.
The GT 1.5 built-in nozzle wiper. Oh, well, I guess it doesn't need the eddy current sensor for nozzle offset because there's no, the Core 1L doesn't have it, but there's only one nozzle. You don't need an eddy current sensor for nozzle offsets.
Used it for
nope, doesn't have it
for the upgrade in advance.
Doesn't have it.
No, I'm just wrong.
Index. So once Core 1L Plus gets Index, that's when it will have it, because you only need the eddy current sensor when you're doing multiple nozzles. $25, super reasonable. I don't see if you already have a Core 1L, $25, it's simple. The Core 1 Plus to Core 1 Plus Plus, only calling it that, $55. And they're saying if you already have the Index conversion kit on order, don't order the Gen 2 upgrade just yet. We'll post a bigger update regarding Index next week. So during the live stream that Tommy did about this, people were like, well, does that mean that you're going to give the upgrade to everyone that orders the Index through Prusa, like the Prusa edition? And he said, I can't say yes, but I think I'm winking. You know, so that's confirmation as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
So $55. Let's see. It gives several practical improvements: less waiting before a print starts, cleaner starts, smoother looking surfaces, easier access to maintenance. So it comes with the wiper. It comes with redesigned heat bed mounting, removes the separate absorbing heat weight for materials using bed temperatures up to 85°C. Higher temperature materials benefit from a shorter weight as well. So it's a whole new bed mounting system. And it also comes with spare nylon rivets. Hooray. I would argue, again, $55, pretty damn cool. And they did state September. That's when we can expect the high temp hot end upgrade coming for Core 1 Plus, and Core 1L. So very, very happy about that. Because I held the HT hot end in November of last year for the first time. Joe passed one to me to take a look at, and it was incredibly impressive, right? Incredibly impressive. But again, like, I sit here and say, all right, this is a thing I love about Prusa. Yes, the XL side is expensive. If we ignore the XL side of this, these are so
Core
cheap.
One side looks great.
They're so cheap. It's like, why?
Like, all my complaints about the XL are nil void for the Core One.
Oh yeah, the Core 1 and Core 1L. The upgrade is so cheap, right? This is what I've loved about Prusa for years. Bamboo recently got on this kind of upgrade train with the H2S to H2C, right? It's like $800 upgrade that gives you their induction heating solution, which is great, but it's also a insane level of work. I would argue that it is harder to do it on the Bamboo than it is to do it on a Core 1, but that's my personal feeling regarding that.
Well, the Bamboo was never designed with upgradability in mind.
Correct, it wasn't.
And the Core 1 was designed with repair and upgradability.
Tech Jeeper says hardened nozzles too soon. So I'm assuming that's going to be what comes with Prusa's update next week. We haven't heard anything from Bondtech.
If anyone from Prusa is watching, I want to see the data. Nobody's talked about. I want to see the data for the wear resistance of the nozzles, because I still have a sneaking feeling that those 32 Rockwell nozzles will still outperform other branded hardened steel nozzles.
I mean, we talked about it, that they started to see some changes at about 5 kilos, and they can safely recommend 3 kilos per index nozzle to not have any, heavy change. And like, that's not what people were promised. I want to be clear. That is not what people were promised, right? But that's a lot better than all of us thought.
The reason I bring it up is everyone trusts the marketing claims by other companies until they're proven false.
Yeah.
How many other companies are actually just lying about their marketing claims for wear resistance? For example, Fatus with their silicon carbide openly say 50 kilos. That is the lifetime for those nozzles, is 50 kilos of heavy-duty carbon fiber. So when you consider that this isn't a silicon carbide insert, 5 kilos before you start seeing signs of wear, that seems in line.
Yeah, it's not, again, it is not what people ordered, but I think it's way better than what people were expecting.
Like, what about a Bamboo Lab nozzle? Like, their hardened nozzles.
So
has anyone actually tested the hardness of them?
Nobody has, but this is interesting. So we had a report come in through the tips line, which is tips at 3dmusketeers.com, just the tips and only for a minute, mind you, that
got to pay extra for more minutes.
Yeah, you do. It's a 1-900 number. That their hardened steel nozzle from Bamboo had wallered out to a 0.5 in under 1 kilo of Prusa PCCF. Now, wait a minute.
Telling.
So, and again, this could easily, and I do not have enough data. We have requested to purchase this nozzle from the user at full retail price so that we can do our own testing, but it is effectively impossible to do real Rockwell testing because it requires you to like dent the surface to determine Rockwell. You can get the files from Amazon, but they're anecdotal, right? And it's very subjective for what bites versus what skates. It's not like it's, scratches at level 6 and deeper grooves at a level 7. That's not a thing for this. And that's something that I want to figure out how to test. And if that means we have to destroy a nozzle to test it, fine. But
I'll be tempted to buy a new nozzle from Bamboo Lab as well.
Mm-hmm.
And like maybe get somebody from overseas with a different warehouse to get the same one. So you have like 2 data points from 2 hopefully different manufacturing batches.
Yeah.
And see if they react the same way. Because PCCF is hard. It is abrasive. It's quite on the aggressive side.
Prusa's not that bad. It is abrasive. It's not that abrasive, but it is abrasive.
But Prusa also has designed their materials with knowledge of their nozzles.
Yes.
And Prusa knows what their nozzles are.
Yes.
If you have a suddenly, call it 40 Rockwell hardened nozzle that they're marketing as hardened, that will probably degrade a lot faster because they're expecting 60 Rockwell or 80 Rockwell, not 30 to 40.
Yeah, and again, I do wish that Bondtech would have updated people by now. Bondtech has been radio silent since promising updates, right? And it's like, okay, you promised updates. even if your update is we're still working on it, just give us something. Because the longer that they're silent about it, the longer it feels like they're a traditional American company, which is just out to take your money and give you the middle finger. I don't think that that's true, but I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is if that is the case and Bontech does just kind of sit there and say, too bad, so sad, I'm getting on a flight. I'll get on a flight.
I wonder if there is problems stopping them from talking about it.
I don't know. I'm not going to take a guess, right? You know, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. As soon as they violate our trust, as soon as they make it a problem, I'm on a flight. I'm booking a flight. And yeah, I understand that we have kind of hooked our horse to the cart of INDX, right?
Yeah.
And that means that I
still stand by it. For any watcher, I still stand by it. My results have been phenomenal.
My results were great too.
But my results are not the same as other people's. And I know that. My unit is probably from a selective batch for OEMs. For example, my packaging, I can't tell you what it says on it or what it looks like.
It's just different.
It is different to what other people get. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if ours was like pre-packaging or like generic boxing. But in terms of like hands-on quality and real-world testing, it's been good. And I'm going to stand by it. And I'm going to use it in our upcoming printer because it's worth it.
I am bummed that they've had so many like off the start here issues, and like, you know, the few nozzles that aren't sealed really well, so they start to leak at random places. We've had the one that had swarf on the inside, and Bontech was super cool and replaced it after the guy cut it open. He cut it in half and then polished it with a diamond stone so that we could see the piece of swarf on the inside. And Bontech were super cool, and they're like, yeah, no, we'll just replace it. We don't care.
And to be fair, I've had contaminated nozzles from almost every brand of manufacturer. It's just luck of the dice that the coolant goes in slightly the wrong way for the chip that's made.
And there's no easy way to tell that unless you have a Lumafield. But even then, you're going to only do spot checking. Now, I did see a new machine at Lumafield.
Ooh.
It is public. Ooh. It's Titan. Titan or Triton, one of the two. It is a conveyor belt CT scanner.
Ooh, that's cool.
Don't get near the openings of it because, my radiation detector was getting spicy because it's X-rays. But they showed us fine. Like the whole process.
Fine.
Well, it's an inverse square thing as long as
3.2 Röntgen.
3.6.
Not bad, not great. Was it
yes.
I thought,
that was 3.6.
I can't do any of the quotes today.
Is it 3.2 or 3.6 from Chernobyl? Someone tell us. But I happen to have it on me because I am that kind of nerd that has a radiation detector. I want to get a better one, but I have a radiation detector on me, like when I travel, because I like to find thrift stores and I like to find spicy items in thrift stores. And I also have lenses that are radioactive. So, again, we'll talk about that a little bit later about what we did at Lumafield. But yeah, a Lumafield scanner would solve this.
I want one.
I do too.
When we scale up MISO, also side tangent, MISO is now entering Gen 5.
Nice.
We think we have now solved every individual problem.
Mm-hmm.
So there'll be updates on that in the coming months. But one of the quality tracking things is going to be, hopefully, a CT scanner, so we can check every single nozzle as it's made, because again, it's a 3D printed process. We need to know what's on the inside to justify the output.
This to me would be a perfect use case for their current system, and they have another system they're working on. I don't know if I can say the name for it. We could not film around it, but it is even faster. Now, its resolution is lower, but if there's a piece of swarf inside of a nozzle, it's going to pick it up realistically, no matter how small the resolution is. Madcat is wondering why I have radioactive lenses, because they're old. And thorium was often used as a doping element on the glass to keep it from flaring and things like that. One of them is from Japan. One of them is from literally the USSR. It says made in USSR on it, and it is. The USSR one is very radioactive. The one from Japan has actually yellowed. So the thorium is starting to hit half-life time or starting to degrade down. And that yellow is what tells you that it's radioactive. But it is significantly less radioactive than my Helios 44-2. So it's a Super Takumar 50 F1.4. And then I have a Helios 44-2. Yes, radioactive decay. Thank you. Sure, the Japan was intentional. Yes, it is. It is thorium. It is not uranium. I do have uranium sources. They're different. But yeah, I like the nozzle wiper, but it does present a fun problem, which is funny.
Go on.
So the fun thing about Prusa printers is they also accept bamboo beds. And they have for many years, right? You can put a 256 millimeter bed on a Mark IV, Mark III, Core 1. It doesn't fit on the Core 1L, obviously, because it's bigger. Now with that nozzle wiper, it won't work anymore.
I wonder if that was intentional.
I don't think it was. I don't think that Prusa really even cared.
I don't like silicon wipers. I don't find they actually do a good job.
I like them. What do you prefer for a wiper, then?
Either.
So like we have bidets for 3D printers.
Change or not. If it's a single nozzle, you don't need a wiper. You use its purge line as its own wiper because nothing is stickier than its own material.
Sure. And Prusa
so you
does
do a
that,
purge
but
and you wipe it backwards, cleans it.
It's not always perfect, right? Because you want to clean the whole nozzle, not just that little tip.
You over extrude it.
I have had issues.
That's what we do. Is we make a line 4 times thicker with over extrusion. And then as we come back along, we wipe the nozzle inside the over extruded line and it cleans the first like 1.5 mil of the nozzle. And if you've got material higher than that, a nozzle wiper's not going to touch that bit. A nozzle wiper really, if it's like the bamboo style, which is like a PTFE tube, it's just the top of the nozzle. Like it's just the.
Well, this is silicone. So this is a silicone wiper like Index has. And it just digs it in and goes back and forth.
Doing it the right way. It needs to do a zigzag to get the sides. Otherwise, it's just going to go in one of the lines, touch the sides and never the front or the back, or just the front and the back and never the sides.
Here's my personal experience. My Index tools stay pretty damn clean. And this is what it does. And it just goes back and forth. So
I see on an Index, it will make more sense to have the wiper directly after the pickup point of the tool. So it wipes every time it ejects.
It wipes every time it cleans. I would do it. It wipes after the little poop.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's where it wipes. And I'm fine with that. It works as expected. Every now and then it'll toss a poop out. Like if the poop is stuck to the nozzle a little bit, it'll toss it into the print, but meh. I think that gets better with software. You know, like you've talked about, there's hardware problems and software problems, and software problems are fixable. Carl talked about the same thing. He's like, look, if it's a software problem, I'm less inclined to be upset about that because that is something that can be fixed with a software solution. If it is something that is a hardware fix and requires a hardware solution, that's more of a problem. He said, so like the nozzles on Index, that's a hardware problem. And that's a problem for him. But Carl's also at a point in his hobby with 3D printing that he doesn't want to build another kit. So he doesn't want to do the conversion. He's like, I will happily buy something from Prusa USA, aka Printed Solid, when it becomes available there. But he's like, I don't.
Not available in the US version.
Of course not. No, Printed Solid / Prusa USA take a while to get inventory. Prusa doesn't even have inventory of the conversion kits. Prusa isn't even selling fully assembled ones yet. So it normally does take a couple of months for Printed Solid to get that stuff to them. But now that it's Prusa USA, maybe that's faster. I don't know how that works. But I have to agree with you and Carl on like software's not that big of a deal. Hardware is though.
Yeah.
1.5
hardware
GT
is always
belts.
the one thing you can't change. I like them, but I also think they're useless at the same time.
The VFA still exists. They're just at different frequencies. That's all.
I the reason I like the change for Prusa, but I don't like going to those belts for everybody else, is I remember reading somewhere, but I can't verify it, so big grain of salt. They've changed their pulleys. They're going to larger diameter pulleys, 28 mil.
I don't know for sure.
Sorry, 28 tooth instead of 20
Oh, well,
teeth.
it does say belts and pulleys for GT 1.5, so what exactly that means, I don't know, but...
Now, it could just be that 28 tooth is the same diameter because the teeth are smaller. That is a fair thing, and it is in line. If you have 20 teeth at 2 and you go to 1.5, you've got roughly 50% more teeth. 28 is roughly 50% more than 20. So
I still think at $55 and $25 respectively for the Core 1 Plus Plus and the Core 1 L Plus.
Oh, it's a good upgrade.
If you have one of those machines, I feel like that's kind of a no-brainer. However, if you're looking to do Index at some point, I would hold off on the Plus upgrade for the Core 1 Plus and just do the Index upgrade, because my assumption is that the Prusa edition will come with the 1.5 GT belts.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting. I'm curious if they're going to offer an upgrade path for founders as well. If founders will be able to go to the 1.5 GT, because if they can't...
That'll be interesting.
Well, think about it.
I don't see why they wouldn't be able to.
If they can't, it makes the firmware so much harder for Prusa. Because now you need...
I don't see why they wouldn't be able to, because all you do is you change your pulley on your motor. They use smooth idlers anyway everywhere else, so you don't need to change them. And that's it. That's your change, is belt motor.
Maybe they do go to toothed idlers. I don't know.
I mean, at GT 1.5, the necessity to go to tooth idlers drops even further, because the teeth profile is so much smaller. The impulse from the teeth meshing with the smooth idler is less.
My general thought is, unless they adjusted their belt size, like their pulley sizes, to match exactly the GT2s, their steps per millimeter will be different. And that's where...
Oh, no, it will be.
So you're going to have to be able to support both Core 1 Plus Index and Core 1 Plus Plus Index. And all of a sudden, this gets very complicated from a firmware perspective.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't get complicated.
Do you just choose which machine you have in like a setup or something?
Literally, like, if I was in a business, I'd have a GitHub with a fork for different versions, and there'll just be a field that, because in all firmware, it's just your steps per millimeter is pre-calculated. Once you do that, you have that as a git ignore, so that bit never gets updated, so it's permanent because it's never going to change. And then any development you do on one of them, you just copy it to the other one. Done.
So
it's one extra click.
Unless the eddy sensor, or unless there's some other sensor that tells the board if you have a plus variant or a non-plus variant, I think we will have potential problems with people putting the wrong firmware on their machines. So that's a thought process too, of, is that a possibility?
I don't think it'll be a problem really, just because steps per millimeter is calculated on the fly every single time.
Is it?
It pretty much, on machine startup, it pretty much is.
Oh.
And you could just change that value at any point. So it wouldn't be insane to have just a toggle box in the screen that is, are you a plus or a not? And you say no or yes, and that's it.
Yeah.
And if they get their gear profile right, you might not even need to do it, because maybe the steps per millimeter is identical. Because that's all it is. Like, it doesn't affect anything else. It's just steps per millimeter is what's affected. And that could be easily done as a user button or a toggle switch, or even like just done at the firmware level. And it's just like they never even have to see it, and they just click a button and they upload the updated firmware.
I like that it is available, right?
Yes.
I'm glad that it is available. I guess I'm, as an XL owner that has wanted something to come out, I do wish that it was a little bit more affordable. Because
I would say
not.
From the Excel upgrade cost does reek of the only people who bought this were businesses, and they're willing to spend money.
Well,
And
again, if
I
you
don't
have,
sit right with me.
if
It
you
doesn't sit with the
have,
Prusa ethos.
well, okay, if you have a newer XL, I think it's like within the last 2 years, maybe, when they made a shift in their buddy boards, you don't have to buy that. So if you have the newer system and you don't need the dwarf boards and you don't want nozzles, oh yeah, it's still $400.
It's still too much. I cannot justify those individual things other than having you're a business tax. You bought the expensive machine, now you pay for the expensive price.
I mean,
Like,
with how
nothing,
expensive it is it really focused at makers, right? Is it focused at,
no,
I don't think it is.
of
I think
course not.
it's
But at the same
prosumer
time,
light industrial.
what if you just get the upgrade kit for like the Core 1 and take the eddy current sensor off that? Because I bet you they're identical. Why would they make two very
I mean, they should
different
be. They should be.
designs?
If they're not identical, they should be very close.
Like, just I would like to see
Me too.
if somebody takes one of them for the 20-something quid just for the eddy current sensor and slap it on an XL and see if it's compatible. Because something's telling me it will be.
I'd be curious.
Like, yeah,
too.
you might need to print a custom mount if that's part of the upgrade. But ooh, you
Prusa should release that under the OCL.
$380.
Well, the OCL should take care of that side, so I'm not too worried there. Mad Max sent 10 gifted memberships. Thank you very much, sir. Steve Knobs, L5 Robling, John Olson, Duff, Tiberum, Nurgle sure. Michael Bruton, Coven 97, NVS _ CINCI, sure. And Edward Rogers 31, all got him. Thank you very much, sir, Mr. Mad Max, Cage Dancing Snowman, for making that happen. Greatly appreciated. Yes.
I mean,
so
Wild Mo has put the belts plus pulleys for the XL should be 50 quid. So the eddy sensor and some fans is 350. That's what doesn't make sense. Eddy sensors are cheap, fans are cheap. Where's the actual cost? Because if you're not getting the nozzles and you're not getting the boards,
well, let's find out.
Where's the cost?
Now, you can say you have 1 tool head, 5 tool heads, or 2 tool heads, right? So let's see what comes with it, right? So, okay, faster printing, sure. New belts, cooling rebuilt for longer runs, improve cooling on individual tool heads, nozzle wiper, and a reliable firmware foundation, but that doesn't matter. Okay, so you need to check your dwarf board serial number. Locate the dwarf board serial number on all your tool heads to find out whether it is compatible with this upgrade. If your dwarf board is marked with a number 07 or lower, it is necessary to replace it with the new one before upgrading. If the dwarf board is marked with 08 or higher, they are compatible. I'm seeing what else comes in the kit. Give me a second here. It doesn't actually tell us. Okay. Sure. Well, there is now a cooling fan in the bed MCU, which we liked. Automatic offset calibration, fine.
Till the end of days.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree on that. Like, why is this so much more expensive if I don't need the dwarf boards? Right?
And they've already proven they can make affordable upgrades with the Core 1. That's a good price. That is arguably a bit cheaper than I would have ever imagined it to be. I would have been like $50, $100.
Yeah.
That is an acceptable price, but
it's
20 and then the other is 500. Don't get it.
So I will say it is 250 for 1 tool head. It is 400 for 5. So there's got to be new fans. Right. So they're
But why are they so expensive?
I don't know. I don't know.
Like, what's stopping me from going on AliExpress, buying a proper either magnet bearing or double liquid ball bearing high-speed fan?
Space.
Well, you can measure it.
There's
what is it? A 5 mil thick fan?
We went through this with Ben. Your main challenge is also that it's a 5-volt fan. It's not a 24-volt fan.
Do you know what size?
I think it's a 4010. 40 millimeter diameter, 10 millimeter thick. And they have to run at like 7,500 RPM or higher, or the machine gets angry. But yeah, I can definitely put in a request to figure out what comes with it, because this is the only upgrade that doesn't actually tell you what comes with it. So that's weird. Like, okay, yes, we can see that it comes with a nozzle wiper, but like,
yeah.
I never had many issues with the XL with nozzle wiping.
Okay. These are expensive fans. £5. Ball bearing 5-volt fan. They've got different versions. They go up to 40 volt because it's an industrial supplier. 8,500 RPM.
Yep.
40 by 40 by 10 mil for £5. So like that didn't take long to find.
No, it didn't.
Am I going to say they're worth buying? No, I've not vetted the company.
Yeah,
but it's not hard to find high spec fans.
I agree. I got an email about if we wanted to, do anything with it, with the plus upgrades, and I said right now the one that I really want, I want the XL. I have an older machine, so I need the dwarf boards. But that is the thing that I would want, right? I want to basically compare it, right? I want to run a print on the XL with effectively the same settings before and after the upgrade. Hopefully they took my emails. I just want the upgrade, that I don't want a full XL. I mean, if they send me a full XL plus, I'm not going to complain. But I do.
I would love one.
Dude, they're great machines, but I do kind of want to compare print quality between the two. So we would have to like put out a poll of like, what prints do you guys want to see done? I feel like a cube, like a 50 or 60 millimeter cube, so you can see the VFAs and stuff like that would be good. Yep. Testing nozzle offsets, and there's got to be a methodology that we could put to it to test it with only one machine and not needing both. If they send us another XL, that's going to be a problem, because I'm not certain that I have the space right now for another XL. And that would be a bit of a challenge, but we're going to work with whatever happens. But yeah, I would like to compare them, because it is very expensive. And like, if you have a newer XL, great. You don't need the dwarf boards. It's $400 if you don't want nozzles. And I would argue you really don't need the nozzles. I have all of mine, except 3 of the 5 are running V6 adapters. So I'm running V6 high flows on there. Well, okay. One is running a high flow Hardened Obsidian. 2 are running Diamondback. One is a 0.4, one is a 0.6. And then I have 2 of them are running the Fadus silicon carbide neck extruders, which, I mean, yeah, they're very affordable, but I've seen some quality issues with them that I'm not a huge fan of. They're more fragile than Diamond, but they're also like a sixth of the price. So
I love the guys from Diamondback, and I will personally be buying from Diamondback, but I can't ever argue against the value proposition of silicon carbide. Yep. Like, as much as I might shill for the bigger, better companies because I've met them in person,
they're great guys.
Value is something I care about. Like, I died on a hill in the past, and I will die on it again, where I openly said, to the horror of Tony and David from Duet DVD, that I support the cloned motherboards.
Yep. Yeah.
And it's because of affordability. If you want to buy the official stuff and support the company that gives the support, buy the official stuff. I buy the official stuff. But when I started, I didn't have money to my name. I couldn't afford a £120 board or £250 motherboard. I bought the Chinese clone that was 60% discounted and got into the ecosystem that then eventually let me buy dozens of boards before I even started the company.
Mm-hmm.
When I
Mm-hmm.
had money, I bought the right stuff because honestly, clones don't feel right if you've tasted the good stuff. But they did the job. They had no issues. They were flawless. Asterisk. There were some small noticeable differences.
Yep.
And silicon carbide's the same. If you want a nozzle that you can run and forget, and yeah, you might have to replace it a bit more often than diamond, do it. Why not?
Yeah.
I'm not going to gatekeep it. It's going to be fine. And I am right in thinking silicon carbide is harder than tungsten carbide.
I don't know if it is.
I'm going to Google that. Sambazu in the chat asked, and I want to know the answer.
Yeah, I don't honestly know what the answer is. It's not my world. But yeah, the pricing
silicon carbide is harder.
Okay, silicon carbide is harder.
Tungsten carbide is an 8.5 to 9.
On the Mohs scale?
Yeah, in the Mohs scale,
Okay.
and silicon carbide is 9.5 to 9.8.
Okay. Yeah. Again, yeah. I'm a Diamond boy, but it's mostly because of my relationship with Diamondback. I don't mind spending the money on their nozzles because they work and I don't have to worry about it. I am anxiously awaiting something for the INDX.
But if the guys over at Woonis or Triangle Lab / Fetus, because they're all the same company in my eyes, because they're all owned by each other, want to take me out for lunch, then I'll start shilling their products a bit more.
Is that all it takes?
Pretty much. I'm simple. Put food in belly. I like you now.
Damn, my deal with you is terrible then. I didn't need to
put food in belly.
I didn't need to give up 50% of the show to you. I could have just given you a free meal every time you're on the show.
That would earn more than the show.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yes, exactly. I would have got a better deal if you did that.
Although I guess it depends on what kind of meals you're eating. It's like, no, you get Macca's, you get McDonald's, that's it.
That's not even cheap.
I know it's not.
Do you know how expensive that is? Like in the UK?
No, I don't. It's expensive, but
like
I don't know.
You get like the big arch large meal. Bearing in mind, our large meal is probably your small size meal because I've seen the difference in sizings. With a drink and maybe some like 4 pieces of chicken nuggets, it's like £14. Like,
sounds about
$18.
Right. I don't know. I don't.
That's terrible value.
I don't eat McDonald's, so I couldn't tell you.
Hey, don't you lie to me. We made you eat it once.
In China. Yes, in China. And it was very good in China.
And that was good.
It was very good. Yeah. But that was real meat, not the mystery meat. Like outside of the US, I think fast food is much more acceptable. Inside of the US, I don't find it to be very acceptable.
I will say McDonald's in America does taste nicer.
Oh.
But that's just because you add MSG in.
I have some food stuff to talk about toward the end of the show because I ate semi-vegan during our trip to California because Carl's vegan. And just my experiences of trying vegan restaurants as a non-vegan.
What your experience is like, because I know that experience from the UK side.
Mm-hmm. Well, we were in California.
It's very good in the UK.
If you wanted to be a pure vegan, California is probably the best state in the union to do it. So, you know, we got lucky there. Speaking of, do you want to transition to California? California love.
Go on.
So
I've no idea what went down other than event.
Friday night, late night, I get a email saying, we would like to invite you to come out to our public unveiling on Tuesday. I'm like, that's like 4 days away. And they're like, we know, would you like to come out? And I'm like, this kind of feels like I'm your second choice, but F it, if you're going to cover our expenses, why not? I would have liked to get some cash out of the deal, but that didn't happen. They simply covered the flights and the hotel and that kind of thing. Which I actually don't think they ended up covering the hotel. It looks like my card got charged for the hotel, so I got to submit that. And I had to book my own flights because the flights they did just didn't work very well. Like Carl and I were getting in and leaving like 15 hours apart. Like that doesn't make sense.
That doesn't work.
No. And I had us land 10 minutes apart. And I think I got the flights for less than they did. I'll have to
even better
figure it out. But anyways, Infimaker has the K1. It's on Kickstarter. There's a link in the description. It is an affiliate link. If you do use it and you sign up for their Kickstarter, I don't know how you can let me know, but we've got to find a way for people to let us know, because what I would like to do is work to give like extra tooling to people, whether that comes out of my affiliate commissions or not. I don't care. I want something to benefit the user from us. I don't know what that looks like yet. Okay. Yep. But I'm a big fan of these desktop mills, right? Makera, right? With the Carvera Air, the Z1. Big fans of their ecosystem because it's easy to use. And so I've been following Infimaker for a while. It is a full 5-axis trunnion CNC. Mm-hmm. So it's not like a 3+2. It is an actual full 5. It is a 120 millimeter cube. So reasonably respectable. They're claiming that most of their competition is only a 100 millimeter cube. The machine weighs 110 kilos, which I did inaccurately state that it weighed 200 kilos in a video, but whatever. It weighs 110 kilos. And their super early bird Kickstarter's like $5,200.
That's good.
20,000
really
RPM,
good.
20,000 RPM spindle, 1,500 watt spindle. It comes with tooling. It comes with materials. Like they all come from DJI, you know, so this idea of having enough stuff in the box to make a project, it's all there. It's pretty incredible. Like, we took one of the sample materials out of a box, chucked it into the machine. They have QR codes on them, and that QR code is read by the machine's camera that tells you what the material is, so you don't have to guess. You can guess if you want to. It's not a requirement.
That's good.
Right? But if you want to buy their materials, they'll sell you in different size blocks, right? So you don't need to buy a 120 millimeter block of something if you're only making a tiny little part. But they had steel, titanium, brass. They had a bunch of different metals, and they were cutting brass live. Now, I understand that brass
I would say brass is not the hardest material.
Brass is one of the
easier.
Similar
to aluminium. It's slightly harder than some aluminiums.
Right.
That's still impressive.
It is, but it was still impressive. They were doing at least a mill and a half depth of cut, which is pretty good on a 3 millimeter tool. Like, that's not bad. That's, in my opinion, for a machine of its size, it's respectable. Now, they did state a couple of things while we were there. So they were running mist coolant that had no recovery system. So it just went down into the chip tray and you had to dump it out.
I don't like that.
Well,
don't like that.
That's not going to be what ships.
Drill a hole in the bottom.
It's not going to be what ships. They're going to ship with flood coolant.
That's good.
Yep.
I do like flood coolant.
Yep.
I like mist coolant is still much better than no coolant. But flood coolant is the best.
Yes, I agree, especially when you have a recovery system. Their mist system just plugged. It was a separate box that plugged into the machine and it piped it. It was great. And all you do is you had to fill it with water and a little bit of a coolant mixture, and it worked great. Right? We used it on brass, which brass doesn't often need cooling, but on their roughing pass, they were taking some pretty serious depth of cuts. Like we're talking a pretty deep depth of cut.
Interesting.
I was very impressed. And the thing that I will say, the one complaint that I have immediately about it is they have tinted glass on the front. I don't want tinted glass.
I want to see in. I want to see in without obstruction.
Everybody was struggling to film. I thought ahead and I brought my suction cup mount, so I threw one of our action cameras in there. And got just some absolutely incredible footage. Absolutely incredible footage. In fact,
I get it. I do get it. Like,
let me see.
Having tinted glass makes it look sexy.
It does, and you won't see all like the random chips and crap that end up. I want to see. I want to see one of the larger creators. That was there. Okay, her video's already out. She said she was going to release a video today, so that works out. It is Laura Kampf on YouTube. I don't want to post it because her affiliate link is in there, but she has 858,000 subscribers. I guess I'll just post it, whatever. Just, please use our affiliate link, please, because, yeah. I'm being nice about this. I'll put it in the chat, but please use ours if you're going to go after one. So she was at the event as well. And our footage should be in that video. We sent them some footage of one of her parts being cut. They actually cut her part live. And I guess it makes sense why they cut her part live and nobody else's. She's a huge creator compared to the rest of us. So, oh well, that's life. Anyways, yeah, literally she filmed it on Tuesday and it went out today. Like crazy system, but she's also like in she's in LA, so she's much closer than most most creators to that. But an absolute sweetheart, like so sweet, so nice, lovely to talk with. But yeah, this machine at that 120 cube, it's crazy quiet. Unless you're doing really hard depth of cuts. They were doing single thickness. They were doing single width slotting cuts. Like,
that's impressive.
On her coin, they do a single width slot cut with a 3mm end mill that goes full depth. Okay.
Full depth. So
eventually,
like depth of cut, how
it eventually goes full depth, right?
Wait, what do you mean by that? As in, like, are they doing multiple passes?
Yeah, they're doing multiple passes.
Okay.
But you're still going to have an interrupted cut. And when you get that deep, evacuating the chips from that is really complicated and can cause your machine to run out of spindle power if you don't have a good machine. Yeah, it handled it no problem. They did one on Monday when Carl and I were there. We went there on Monday because we had no idea what time we were supposed to be there. Literally everything was so last minute for us. We got to California and we're like, we don't know when, like, we know the event's on Tuesday, but we don't know, when it is. We don't know when we're supposed to be there. So we just walked over to where the event was going to be and they were thankfully setting up. So we were able to get kind of the rundown because they never actually sent us what we needed. So Carl and I are just kind of like, F it, we'll figure out what we need to do. But I will say I was very impressed with the quality. And when you run stuff live, right? We all know, Jacob. I mean, you know too.
Yep.
When you run things live, your ability to have failure exponentially increases.
Oh, yeah.
And
it's why I'm so proud to always run our machines at any show we go to.
Yeah.
Because everybody knows if you're not running your machine, it's because it's going to go wrong. And shows make the chance of it going wrong guaranteed. Which is why we do it. But the fear behind the scenes of, oh god, I just loaded somebody's random 3D model to prove that it will do it first time with settings I haven't validated with a reel that has been sat on a shelf for 6 months.
Yep.
Please don't go wrong. Please. And it doesn't go wrong. But that fear is real.
It is real. And we could easily tell that they were running very, conservative settings. Like, I'm looking at that saying, you can go more than that. I'm not even hearing your motor slow down a little bit. It's fine. Go faster. And they're like, no. I'm like, come on. If you ain't breaking bits, you ain't going hard enough. Right? They're like, well, what are your plans? I'm like, well, if you send me one, because we haven't actually figured that out yet, but if you send me one, I'm going to turn it up till it breaks bits, and I'm going to turn it down 10%. Because if you are not running at the maximum peak power that your machine can put out, you're wasting time. And you're wasting money. Because CNC, you're often charging by the hour. Yep. Right? So Carl and I, we arrived early, we stayed late. So once Laura and some of the other creators had left, we wanted a one-on-one interview with the CTO, LJ. Yep. Fortunately, LJ, I think he was a little tired of being on camera, so the interview was very short. I got a little bit, but that's okay. We had them do the mini grant, which is a very complicated part for 5-axis.
That is a terrible model.
It's a terrible part.
Only achievable with 5-axis.
So they let me do it. So I loaded in the STL file, we scanned the material to make sure it was the right size, and then I just clicked simulate. It simulated the whole thing, made sure it was possible. The crotch wasn't 100% possible, so it just adjusts the file to be possible. It said you can adjust the file to make it possible, or you can leave it as an impossible area. We don't care. Cool. Great. I chose the adjust option, and then it made the toolpaths and said, click go when ready. I'm like, I don't have to set anything. They're like, nope. We have...
That's impressive.
Yeah, it's very much a bamboo CNC machine, right?
That honestly, I think that's going to be slept on the most, but that level of
that's what people
requirement is something that all industry needs. Like, learning Fusion to then go through the manufacturing process side to choose which toolpaths when, where, depth of cut, speed of cut, chip evacuation, all of the random little pieces of information just to make your G-code like cut program takes ages. It makes me concerned every time.
So,
and, oh my God, that looks great.
I want to be clear. This was not made at the event. This was not made at the event.
That looks great.
They ran out of time and had to turn the machine off. And so this was done back in China. But...
that looks amazing.
Bro. And now that's done out of the white plastic that they had to show off. And so you can take, I think they were doing like a 3mm depth of cut, which is...
well, that's impressive.
For a machine that small, that's a very aggressive depth of cut for your passes. Now, for the mini grant that we did at the event, we had one camera on the side and then I had one on the bottom. The one on the bottom kept getting hit by the trunnion, which was very funny. But eventually they both get covered in chips. But I think that the video was still really cool from it. I am excited because I do think that this brings like 5-axis machining into the home. And if it wasn't for the fact of the tinted glass, and the lighting is not great on the inside of it,
Maybe they could just fix it with brighter lights.
The two complaints that I have about it are totally fixable. I would call this like a wife approval factor high CNC machine. All of us that have had routers are like, we have issues with them because they're so effing loud, right? Anyone that has a CNC machine, they're so effing loud. This one,
I've got two.
We deliberately recorded the video without any noise isolation on. Now, will the editors get mad at me for it? I don't know.
Yes. No, the answer is yes.
It is so quiet that a regular conversation was... I didn't need to raise my voice at all. Right? And I could talk over the machine without a problem.
Really?
Without a problem. And when it is doing its finishing passes...
are they using a water-cooled spindle then?
Nope. Air-cooled. I asked about that.
And it's still...
yep.
Audibly...
yep.
That's impressive.
Yep. That's what I said. And their spindle moves in X and Z. It's not just a Z spindle. It is an XZ spindle. So the trunnion moves Y, and they call it B and C. I was at A and C.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Tracks. No, yeah, that tracks.
But Y, B, and C are done on the trunnion. But dude, it's got a 5-tool tool changer. It's got, you know the Renishaw probes?
Yep.
It's got a little mini Renishaw. It's not a real Renishaw probe, but it uses the lights.
Little ruby tip.
Yes, with the ruby tip.
Ah, yes.
So
I've broken so many of them.
I asked about it. They said they don't know offhand, but they're trying to keep the cost of the ruby tips under like $50 US, which I think is totally acceptable.
That's very acceptable.
Yeah. Like it's literally if you took the Renishaw, the really big, like expensive Renishaw, and just shrunk it to be like this big. It's got the lights. It's got, oh my gosh, it's...
Also, just for anyone watching, you can use non-ruby tips. It's just ruby doesn't get damaged when it touches metal. And if like you're using a steel tip and the steel you're touching is harder, you can slowly dint it. So you lose precision. But in reality, nobody cares.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I do most of my tolerancing by eye. That's not a good method. And it works.
When they said that it did auto probing, I figured, oh, okay, they're using like a triquetra CNC where you put a block of metal, and then it uses the
it touches the corners.
Yeah, it touches the corners, right? And that's how it figures out where it is in the world.
Yeah.
No, they pull out a little tiny Renishaw probe. I'm like, oh shit, that's incredible.
Serious.
Right? And it goes into the tool changer. So it's technically a 6-tool tool changer, but one of them is the Renishaw probe. I don't know what else to call it. I'm going to call it a Renishaw probe because that's what it looks like. But one of them is the probe. And then the other 5 are our tools. And it comes with freaking bits. Again.
Wait, really?
It comes with bits. Yes.
Like hardened steel, carbide.
I think it's carbide, but they're 3mm. Who cares? They're cheap.
I mean, that's great.
Like, I would bet that in this drawer next to me, I had to move so I could open it, that I bet I have carbide end mills in here. It wouldn't surprise me. This used to be where I kept my end mills. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Okay. What size is this? Let's find out.
Open a box.
Let's find out.
Oh, it's blue. That'll be high-speed steel. I can tell you now.
Yep. Although this is a big one. Or bigger.
Is that carbide?
High-speed steel. You're right. High-speed steel.
Get on my level.
It is a 1/4-inch end mill, 4-flute end mill.
Blue box, high-speed steel every time. Everybody is like, it'll be carbide. No, high-speed steel.
I did request, so they're looking to have the final version accept 6mm. And I said, can you get me to a 1/4-inch? Because if you can get me to 1/4-inch, or give me an ER collet, right? Give me an ER16 collet, or give me an ER32 collet.
Oh, what collets are they? Because that's a good point.
It's a special thing.
No, ER11 collets.
I would well,
brilliant for this.
Yes, the problem is
kind of small, and you can still go up to 1/4-inch.
But at 20,000 RPM. ER collets aren't the best at those high speeds. They tend to have a fair bit of run out.
Fine. It's fine.
I said the same thing.
I run ER collets like at 16,000, 24,000. Like
their system is all air. It's all an air chuck. It's an air chuck system.
Yeah, and that's fine.
No, it doesn't need shop air. It has its own compressor.
Okay, that's neat.
Yeah.
I expected shop air.
It runs off a 110, even though it requires 2,500 watts. They include a transformer. You go from 110 to 240. But somehow...
But how does that stop the limitation of power input?
I don't know. I asked about it. They said it won't blow breakers. I said, okay.
Which breakers? It won't blow UK breakers.
Yeah, right. But in the States, they were running and they didn't blow any breakers. So, again, I don't know what that plan is. But it is a 10 amp, 240 volt system. You can run it off a 240 volt if you want. But it's universal power input. Again, a really valuable thing. Really valuable thing.
To blow American breakers.
It didn't. It did not at Human Made, and we were running it on a 15 amp breaker. We made sure.
Okay.
I think their spindle's 1,500 watts peak or 1,500 watts max. Like, how often are you really going to run a spindle at full speed? Like, I feel like you'd have to have the compressor kick on, the spindle at full speed, the air system at full speed. All of that would have to all happen at the same time to pop a breaker, but I don't know, and I intend to find out. I
like it when we have to find out. But honestly, this machine, very cool, very interesting, and like for what it opens up in terms of manufacturing at home, the price is worth it. In my eyes,
that's where I stand. I'm gonna go and I'll post our. This is our affiliate link for it. I guess I have to do it. Is it 4
Definitely
times?
Give it a check out, guys. Check it out. See what you think. But it's got the Jacob "This is cool" seal of approval.
Well, dude, so if you use an ER system, you couldn't have a quick tool change, right? You'd have to somehow unscrew it.
You can do quick tool change ER, but you need to have them in their own.
Yeah, and then you have to have a way to unscrew and then retighten
it. No, because you have your collet, your bit, and your sub spindle, which clamps them together as its own bit, and then you change that in. That's how I've done it, and that works quite well.
I didn't get a good view as to how they were holding everything in, but it's an air chuck that grabs, and it grabs on the shank of the tool, and they have like a stop collar, it looks like, that stops it from going in. It very much looks like a like from a Cat 40 side for machining, like one of the shrink fits, one of the shrink fit style end mills, because it is very narrow and then it tapers right before your end mill comes out. And I'm guessing that's just to get you more kind of clearance around as your trunnion is moving.
Which makes sense.
But I will say, very impressed with it. It was unreasonably quiet. Like I was almost upset with how quiet it was. 'Cause it's like, it doesn't sound like it's doing anything. And sure, on its finishing passes, it really wasn't doing much. They were taking such a tiny depth of cut, it didn't matter. But the mini grant
aren't supposed to.
The mini grant that you saw had a entire time of a little over 2 hours.
That's actually really good.
Yeah. I think we did scale that to like 75 millimeters tall. That one might be the 83 millimeters that it is standard. But I am uniquely impressed by it. Absolutely uniquely impressed. With how quiet it was, with how clean it was. Yes, if you are using the mist coolant and you open the door, some of the chips that are on the glass have a tendency to slide off. So you have a little,
that will
tray
happen
there.
No matter what.
Yeah. But that was it. Like, that was the only mess. They had real tool steel parts to show us. They did a shuttlecock for badminton, which is a really difficult part to do. And they did it out of aluminium. Let me see if I have a photo of it. I have a lot of videos from the event. I don't have a lot of photos. We put them up on Instagram if people want to see them. So there's stuff over on Instagram. But I was very, very impressed with the quality that these machines were putting out. No, I don't.
I do actually want one of these machines quite badly. I'd love if they could give me one. I would do so much interesting things. But like, for example, I've just got an order through for a sword hilt where they want it out of brass. This machine would be perfect for
like
that.
This is a video that I filmed, obviously, right? But at some point it will go back to the mini grant, and you can see it's taking. There's a camera down there. It's a pretty decent depth of cut, given, and it's plastic. But I mean, that's at least
quite forgiving.
But that's at least 2 or 3 millimeter depth of cut. Like, that's a decent depth of cut here. I
would like to know their depth of cut for aluminium.
It didn't look like it was very much, but again, I think that they're running very conservative numbers. They are claiming full post-processing support for Fusion, Onshape, and the major CAD/CAM packages exist. So
that's good.
If you want to do all your coding and stuff inside of Fusion Cam, you can just export that right into their software. But if you just want to click go and cut, you can. They also, of course they do, AI, prompt to model generation. So I'm assuming it's like they're using one of the big companies that are out there to do that. Still good, right? I think it's useful for newbies. It is not a requirement for anybody that is doing it for a while. And I confirmed air gappable.
Okay, I kind of like this machine more now.
Software does not require any internet connection whatsoever. They did have a USB connection on the machine. They were asking about whether SD would be okay. I said, I think USB is more appropriate for a CNC machine than SD cards.
Yes, USB every time. SD cards with CNC, there isn't actually a legitimate reason. The reason is just the industry so far always uses USBs because they tend to work closely with welders
all the Haas machines.
And rephase.
Well,
and you don't want to have an SD card because they can get interfered with a lot more.
And every computer has USB. Not every computer has SD.
Yeah. Like, my workstation used to be a laptop. And I would take that laptop to the workstation, I'd put it on the empty bay, and then I would plug a USB cable directly in, or a USB drive, do it, transfer it, load it on the machine, get the cuts going.
Yep.
I've never used an SD card. The only time I've used an SD card was when I was doing like a router table that was hobbyist grade, and the first thing I did was I changed it.
Oh, when I
changed the motherboard, and I've got USB.
When I had my X-Carve, it was SD, or you could run it off a computer. So I still have one, but I have fully passively cooled, like a netbook. It's a Chromebook, but you can flash it with Windows. It just only has 32 gigs of memory. So you only get like 8 or 32 gigs of like actual storage. Don't ask me how much RAM it has, but you could only fit like 1 or 2 projects on it at a time. But it had no fans, so no dust got into it. It was fully passively cooled.
That's neat.
So
we just never cared about dust. It was just like, laptop died, get a new one.
I get that. Yeah, I care about it. But in a machine like this, dude, again, like, yes, I know they paid for us to fly out there, right? I'm not going to deny that there is some level of like, I didn't spend this trip was about $3,000 because it happened so quickly. The tickets,
that's still not a bad price.
The tickets round trip for me were like almost 1,000 or just over 1,000. Carl's was 1,200.
Okay, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad.
Well, I didn't want 3 stops.
You could fly to the UK with that.
Right, in like 2 months. I can't do that today. And we booked the flights on Saturday for a flight on Monday morning. Like, it is what it is.
Road trip?
God, no. It's the other side of the country. We would have had to drive nonstop.
Speed laws?
Well,
yeah, it'd be fine.
Carl's up in Maryland. So I would have to go to Maryland and then
you're
we
not
go.
Even in a straight line. Okay.
No. Yeah, California, you don't get much farther from Florida in the continental United States and California. Oregon technically is the farthest, or Washington State is the farthest, but California is pretty damn far. But yeah, it was a really fun trip. But when we were going out to dinner Monday night, we passed by Cloudflare's office. And if you don't know,
because of course you did,
the San Francisco office is where the wall of entropy exists. That's their big wall of lava lamps.
That's the lava lamps, isn't it?
It's a lava lamp wall.
Like yep. I remember there was a... Is it Tom Scott? Yeah, Tom Scott video.
Yes, there are a few videos about the wall.
I am behind some lava lamps. I know, it was so funny. I love it.
Yeah, I mean...
So what do they do?
So... here, I will show you. There's the... I was definitely at Cloudflare, but I have a great story from that as well.
I am so absolutely jealous of you.
So Carl laughs.
That is a once-in-a-lifetime photo, and I wish I had one.
You can just walk in. They don't... you just knock on the door and they'll let you in.
Yes, I would just walk into California.
Well, I'm saying it's not like you have to get... Like, we did not ask permission ahead of time. We just knocked on the door. Now, I
get that, but I'm not going to come to Cloudflare.
Right.
Maybe I will, but like just to show up and take a photo.
That's fair. That's fair. We didn't know it was there because, again, we had so little time to prepare for the trip. I don't really know what's in San Francisco other than like Fisherman's Wharf and the Golden Gate Bridge, right? Like, and Lombard Street. Like, what the hell else is in San Francisco other than hipsters? So we were driving by and we're like, oh God, we have to stop there tomorrow. Well, we had all of our camera gear with us. So I said, Carl, I'm going to leave my gear out here. You stay out here with all the gear. I'm going to go inside and get permission to film. And Carl said, you left me like a dog with all the gear. I said, Carl is a bodybuilder. So Carl's just, big muscly guy, right? And we have both of our camera rigs. He has an A7S III. On it was a 50mm f1.2 Gamma Master from Sony. I have the A6500 with the 16mm f1.4 Sigma with our screens. And we looked like a big deal. I said, I don't want to walk into Cloudflare where I have no contacts with all this gear. They're going to tell us no, and they're going to tell us to get out. But if I get permission on my own and I go and I say, hey, can I have my camera guy come in here? He's with some of the gear, and we bring in all the gear. They've already told us yes. Now, I had filmed a quick short form video. It hasn't gone out yet about the wall of entropy, but basically they take a picture of it, of where the lava lamps are. They have a camera that streams it, and that helps their encryption. And anything that happens in front of the wall goes toward making the encryption better. So for a part of the day, and Carl were directly responsible for the encryption for websites across the United States.
I'm so jealous.
It's pretty cool.
I'm actually so jealous.
But
My
see,
little nerd wants
here's
it.
where it gets funny. We're getting ready to set up a more professional video, which we ended up not filming because of this interaction. A guy comes out and says, "What are you doing? Who gave you permission to film? Why are you here?" And I'm like,
"Oh, you were getting proper body checked."
I got properly checked. And I said, "We were literally just driving by yesterday and saw it. I'm a turbo geek for this stuff. This is the wall of entropy. I mean, this is what you guys use to do your encryption, and you're so effing confident about it, you put it on public display." And he's like, "Oh, all right, you're fine. You're good. You're fine." And he just walks back through the doors we couldn't film. And there was another gentleman out there who was kind of describing it to us. I said, "I don't want to be an asshole, but who was that and why was he like that to me?" He's like, "Oh, that's the CFO of Cloudflare." All of Cloudflare.
Oh my god.
So,
Man,
I'd like to point
you got
out,
bodied by the CFO.
I got geek checked by the CFO of Cloudflare, and I passed.
Okay, you are officially the cool one of the duo now. I cannot defend that. Here is your crown, sir.
Yeah, but that put such a weird, like, oh, I probably don't want to film an official video in here. Let's just do it on our cell phones type of feel that's what we ended up doing. Yeah. It sounds like maybe the CFO was afraid you were some internet investigator. Maybe. I don't know. I would say that there are probably better ways to handle what occurred, but not knowing that he was the CFO, I can understand why a C-suite might be a little aggressive. And then as soon as he figured out, oh, you're actually not a threat, you're just a fan, he went back inside. And that was it. And that was the end of that. But it was still like one of those, okay, let's maybe not do a huge video. But it was really cool. It was very, very cool. And then when we were walking from Cloudflare over to Human Made, which was where the Infimaker event was, we passed Lumafield. Now, for those who don't know, Lumafield does 3D CT scanners. They use X-rays. If you don't follow them on social media, please follow them. They do a scan of the week, which is just so much fun for you to try to figure out what they've scanned. I'm not always right, but I do find it to be a lot of fun. And they have some of the coolest artwork. Like, some of the merch they're working on that we got to see, I'm like, as soon as this becomes available for purchase, here's my cell phone. Call me. I will buy it. Right? Because their art across their office is just the insides of things. They have one of their conference rooms is named Alternator. Why is it named Alternator? Because inside of it are different levels of thicknesses of an alternator. Cool. Right? Like, so effing cool.
Like, for example, Lumafield is one of the only companies I want to buy a scanner from.
Well, you can't buy one. Their hardware is a service. You don't know that?
No, I didn't. I thought you could just outright buy a machine.
Nope.
What?
Nope.
Wait,
hardware is a service.
Cheap to get into, though.
Yes, way cheaper. Right. So
how much are we talking about?
I don't know. Off the top of my head, I don't know. I would assume it's sub 50K a year, but I don't know.
I mean, that's a really good price then.
You know, Linus Tech Tips has one.
If you're getting a 3D CT scanner and you're not using it, you've got a bigger problem.
Exactly.
Like, you're just a tech hoarder then.
Exactly.
If you're using a 3D CT scanner, 50 grand even a month,
whatever it is,
nothing to you.
Well, so their biggest like current partnership is with iFixit. Like public, I guess. Their biggest public partnership is with iFixit. And iFixit uses the Lumafield scanners to see inside of phones and inside of devices. And yeah, it's easy enough that I could do it. And so we scanned my 2 radioactive lenses and we scanned one of our Osmo Pocket Gen 1s while it was recording.
Ooh.
Now, the thing that we didn't know, and I haven't checked the footage, but we found out. So I will tell you, if you've listened this far, I'm okay with telling you that there's going to be some fake things occurring in the video. When you run the scan, the lights in the machine turn off, so the camera didn't see anything. It was dark.
But
now,
do you see static? Do you
I'm
see
told
static?
I'm told we should, but I don't want to see it until I'm watching it on camera because I want my reaction to be real. In theory, we should see some static. They are going to provide us with the full data from all the scans as well. So the original machine is what we used for the DJI. For the camera lenses we used there, I think it was Triton or Titan, which is a belt-fed machine. So it has a big conveyor belt system. They were doing a public demonstration for a cell phone refurbishing company where it would go or no go. So if it found things inside the phone that were a no-go, it would kick it off to a different line versus the go, which would pass through. So that's what we did the lenses in. I did not see much of the lens scan other than like they showed me a half cut. But they said, we want to process it, then we'll send it to you because it's way more fun to do it that way than to kind of show you the raw data as it sits. But I have friends there. Their chief marketing officer or chief C-suite, right? Happens to be a friend. His name is John. He runs their podcast, Go No Go, which is a great name for a podcast. We only had a few minutes to interview him, so I did a very quick interview with him in front of one of the machines. But it was a really, really, really fun experience. And we inked a really cool deal with them, which is they'll scan anything that we want.
That's really cool.
Yep. So
I'm actually so jealous. I literally might have to send you a miso now because I want to see the insides of a 3D printed metal object where they say a claim, but I want to prove the claim.
They had some on display metal 3D prints that they've scanned. And like Amazing. Throughout the office, there are dosimeters. So you can, like, if there is a leak of x-rays, they'll know about it. Super cool, right? Like proper geek level. But yeah, so we are going to be working with them for our new review side of the company that we're working on, to basically validate what we believe is happening, but validate it before we break things. We're going to break things, to be clear. We're going to break things, but we're going to send them a non-broken thing, and maybe we'll send them the broken things too, and then that's going to determine how it failed, why it failed. And these are what I'm excited about.
That will be fun.
Yeah.
That will be really fun.
Those that are in the Discord, it's $10 tier and higher. You all are very publicly aware of what we are doing. And it is something that I am very excited to share with the world. My hope is 3D Printopia is when we publicly announce it. So we announce it at 3D Printopia, that this is what we're doing. And, you know, I don't know. I'm kind of excited, but I did not expect to have a deal like that with Lumafield. Like, they've offered before to scan random things for us just for fun, but they've never said, yeah, send us whatever you want, whenever you want, as long as we can publish.
That's cool.
Well, the deal is they can publish the data, which I don't care. Great. That's good backlinks for us. Thanks. So I'm very excited for that. That is something that was a really good thing that came from that trip. Both Carl and I were not expecting to be able to film at Lumafield, but we did.
Ooh.
And yeah, I said Lumafield is basically your digital therapist. It sees what's inside of you and understands it, and you don't. And I made a joke.
Now I want one even more.
We'll probably cut the joke that it is likely more affordable to buy and modify, hardware as a service, a Lumafield CT scanner and modify it to allow it to run with a door open to do your own CTs of like your hand or something than it is to get it done in cash in the States.
That would be sad if true. And I kind of want to see the answer.
I think it's pretty close.
Oh no.
But look, I'm very, very excited for that. And that was literally, so we went there on the way to Infimaker, but they're like, come back Wednesday, which would have been the next day, and we'll do a more formal video, which is what we did. And it was awesome. It was fun. So we had a really, really cool trip in San Francisco. and Carl and I are just, he's a professional photographer, like proper professional photographer. He brought an A7 IV with him as well. So he brought a second body. He brought us 24 1.2 GM. Might have been a little large, might have been a 1.4 or 1.6, but it's a big lens. He also brought his 100 to 400 telephoto, which we used a lot of. And I put it in the DGen network in the Discord, but I have the photo with it fully extended at crotch level, because of course you do. But yeah, we had a lot of fun. So yeah, big thanks to Infimaker for bringing us out.
Sounds like
to
you had
that.
a lot of fun though.
Yeah, the flight home.
Jealous.
The flight home was subpar. We took a red eye. We left at 10:30. We had the same flight back because Carl's local airport is BWI. BWI is a Southwest hub, so I flew from BWI down to Tampa. Except my flight was delayed 4.5 hours, and I already had a 4-hour layover. So my layover was 8.5 hours. That sucks. That really sucks. So, well, yeah, vegan food. I had vegan, like proper vegan
how
food.
How did that go?
We went to a restaurant.
I have eaten for about 5 months a vegan diet, and it was fine.
So
I enjoyed it. In the UK, it was quite easy.
When we landed, we dropped our bags at the hotel, and Carl said, I have to take you to a place. I will not let you pay.
Okay.
You don't get to argue, but I want you to try it. I'm like, okay.
I don't care about the rest of the story. Knowing you, did you still try and pay?
No. Nope. He said, it's a vegan restaurant. I said, okay, this is something that's very important to Carl. He wants me to experience this. I will let him pay. It is a restaurant called Mr. Charlie's. It is basically a vegan McDonald's. Hilariously, it is also directly across the street from a McDonald's. There's only like 7 or 8 of them in the world. Right? And there happens to be one in San Francisco. So I had a vegan Big Mac. It's pretty good.
How was it?
I think it is. I think that it's overspiced. If the spice level was down a little bit, and that's like the umami and not like physical heat, right? Not like a capsaicin heat, but just the mouthfeel of the flavors, right, were stronger than what I would expect. So I don't think you could trick.
I never try alternative meats. I've never done that. Like even like the steakless steak bakes. My problem is they always feel like they are missing something that screams in the back of your head that it's missing, and that makes the entire meal unenjoyable. Whereas there are other vegetarian and vegan dishes that are superior without trying to fake having a meat. And it's an interesting distinction, because you would think like meat alternative would taste like meat-ish. But I found that detractor only kicks in halfway through a meal.
Right. I would say so. They were using Beyond patties, so that's there, right? It was the cheese that threw me off the most. Vegan cheese
cheese. It's terrible.
Well, it wasn't bad. It was always gooey.
Yes, it was.
The taste was good.
Somehow you must have got good, because every vegan cheese I have tried makes me want to commit toaster bath. The
2 places that I tried vegan cheese, they had the same problems. They were too gooey, but otherwise the flavor was there. I was very happy with it. The Mr. Charlie's chicken sandwich, or fake chicken sandwich, not only, if you didn't look at it, like if you look at the cross section, you would know it's not real chicken. Not only would it easily, like, you could pass this by a meat eater, no problem. I would argue it was one of the best chicken sandwiches I've ever had.
You know, I think I'd agree with you on that. Like, replacement chicken, really quite good. Like, if anyone's tried the Greg's vegan sausage rolls, you will be impressed by them as well, because they are just, I would argue, better than a regular sausage roll.
Well, and the funny thing is, like,
they are.
Very clearly, I was pinned walking into the doors of these restaurants that I'm not vegan, right? Because I don't know what I'm looking at. I don't understand it. And so the owners or managers would be coming up to us and asking my opinion as a non-vegan person. What are my thoughts? I'm like, this is actually pretty good. And I said, from someone who does eat meat relatively often, I think that there's too many spices in the burger. It's good, but I think you're trying to compensate for lack of what you believe is a lack of flavor, so that when you get someone who's making that jump, they don't find it bland. And that's the thing. You will not find it bland. And so I was heavily impressed. So yeah.
No, that's good.
Lars says, not much with Prusa. I think you've just missed the last 2 hours and 40 minutes of this show.
Yeah. But you know what you're now missing? You still haven't been to a McDonald's to compare.
We were going to do that, but we decided to not bother with it.
Any reason for Grant not to try a McDonald's?
Yeah, I didn't want to.
It took going to China to get Grant to have a McDonald's.
It's fair. It did. Because I know it's terrible in the United States. I know it's bad. And it's expensive. Right?
Just for reference, I strongly abide by it, and this probably doesn't work in America, but it works in the UK. McDonald's is a 5 out of 10 food. It is the perfect average of not being good and not being bad.
It is acceptable at best.
It's the beige of food.
The problem is it's so expensive, where I have a Steak and Shake local to me. If I wanted something reasonably fast, I'm going to go to Steak and Shake. It is a better quality burger for the money every single time.
There are so many places that do better food for cheaper. But if you ignore the price, McDonald's as a flavor profile is a 5 out of 10 in the most average way possible.
Yep.
It is not special and it is not bad.
Well, I will say it was nice because there were a lot of options for Carl. Carl's very worried about how when we travel, there might not be food options for him. So if Carl does go to Form Next with us, Nepo, that will be something that we have to look into, is making sure that places that we go have not only good vegan options, but are potentially pure vegan or have known good vegan options. He has an entire app on his phone to help him find places.
Oh, that's neat.
And Carl has a system for this, and I like the system. He sets the app to vegan only, because he said, if I'm going to give a company money, ones that are taking that risk of being vegan only are ones that I like to give my money to. And you know what? I can't hate that. I think that is commendable, 100% commendable. But there were only a couple of places, and they were all burger restaurants. And so we got kind of tired of that. We were in the Uber after the Infimaker event, and the Uber driver, because we were just talking to him about food, and the Uber driver's like, oh, you got to try this ramen place. He said, and I'm a meat eater. He said, I think their vegan option is one of the best. So we went there, and it was so good. We went there our final night as well. So
hey, that must have been good to impress you enough to go twice.
Carl said the spring rolls were life-changing. I opted not to do vegan at those because I really wanted non-vegan options.
You know what? I actually do prefer vegan spring rolls.
So I will tell you, my experience with vegan in California for a couple of days and just doing that, I bought tofu.
Tofu's great.
I'm going to try, Carl's giving me recipes. We're working together on this. And I think that's really cool. But I will agree with Carl. It is very easy to lose weight when you're a vegan. Very easy.
Oh, yeah.
Because you don't get the calories of processed food. He's like, yeah. Because he was eating 3 burgers. I'm like, dude, how are you doing that? He's like, you do realize these are only 400 calories each, right? I'm like, oh, I expect them to be 1,500 calories. Like, no. It's like, you could eat this stuff raw. It's only heated up.
I love how you're like, oh, we just eat 400 calories. And that's a full meal. That's a full meal.
Not when you're.
Do you know how many calories I eat a day? About 1,200.
Well, you're small. It's fine. I don't.
I'm not. I'm 5'10". Almost 5'11".
Skinny. Excuse me.
And
You
food is
require
food.
your base metabolic index is lower than mine. And Rosie says, definitely not true, I feed you. So, ha.
Okay, let me Uno reverse this. What did we have for food today? Right, I could do better. I could do better.
This
We're
doesn't
having a
count.
domestic. We're having a domestic.
Oh, that's so loud.
Domestic live on camera.
I don't think this
I'm doing a domestic live on camera.
This is a day of streaming, so you don't always eat your meals today.
You're right.
Just put your hand up. It should follow you if you put your hand up.
Oh yeah.
If you want it to do that.
I can't remember if I turned it off.
Try it, see if it works. It might get weird, but you can try it.
Oh no, enable auto tracking. There we go. Is that enabled? No.
No, now you have to do the hand gesture.
Come on. No.
Nope. Okay, fine. Nonetheless, I was impressed. I was
Wait,
impressed enough to try vegan recipes myself.
I don't know why it's moving so slowly.
Turn around,
I don't know why it's moving so slowly.
Bright eyes. There's a light, and we can't see anything behind it. There's Rosie. Hello. She probably doesn't want to be on camera. The look on her face says she doesn't want to be on camera. She's wearing a MILF shirt. That's appropriate.
Yeah, it's Man I Love Cats. Sorry, Man I Love Felines.
Right. Sure.
There you go. What did you make me for dinner?
Curry rice and a naan bread.
Yes, and how much was that?
It says, Man, I love felines.
Okay, just checking.
No, Man, I love felines.
Okay. And of the meal portion size, would you call that small, medium, or large?
Medium. What do you think it was?
Yeah, I love how he's getting into an argument about how many calories he eats. The man is thin as a board. Okay.
I don't know. I thought there was going to be quite a funny skit because I've got a gimbal on the camera.
That's all right, because you know you're going to have to buy us a Mackey's.
I'm not buying you a Mackey's after this. I'm not buying you a Mackey's after this.
No, but he has a great metabolism.
Yeah, Jacob has a look, Jacob. We were eating the same things when we were together, and you were feeling hungry much faster than I was.
But I ate much less than you.
Sometimes. There were a lot of times you didn't.
When we did our impromptu China date. When we did our impromptu China date, you were taking me all over the place.
I don't remember.
And you were like, we're going to eat more. We're going to eat more. And I'm like, God, I'm trying to pace myself.
That's fair. That one was true. That one was true. But you were hungrier later and I wasn't.
That is true. I was hungrier faster. And when we were in Prague and we went to the sushi restaurant, and then you were like, the boats, let the armada begin. I'm like, I've had 4.
That's
and I'm
all
already
you
full.
Can eat, not all you should eat. All right? I've been over this.
Yeah, but I don't know where you put it.
Somewhere down here.
Teleporting into the back rooms from the looks of it.
Well, Carl and I are going to work together because I would like to cut some weight. Get my health back in to where it needs to be. So I am excited. Nonetheless, so it was fun hanging out with Carl. As the girl said, we were having our 3-day boys date. Because Carl's one of the only people that I know that I could call and say, "Hey, what you doing Monday through Wednesday?" And this is on Saturday. He's like, "I don't know why." I said, "You want to go to California?" He's like, "Sure, yeah." I'm like, "Cool, I'll book the tickets. I'll let you know." That was it. That was our entire conversation.
To you, so we could just do that on the fly.
The heavier conversation was, what gear are we bringing in? We had a miscommunication. Did he bring everything? He normally does, but he asked me to bring a spare monopod, thinking that I wasn't bringing a monopod. So I brought 2. We didn't need 2. In fairness, in my eyes, taking a spare monopod would be, you will be taking your equipment and a spare. So that would be 2. That's how I thought it was too. He didn't realize that my equipment included a monopod. So that's okay. I made it fit, but I also brought the big index tool with me. So a lot of my bag was taken up by stuff I didn't need to bring, but it was way more fun to bring it and have someone who's never seen it before actually look at it. So I thought that was really cool. And Carl enjoyed it too. So we had a really fun trip. There are some There are some giveaway items, like we got some stuff from Cloudflare that I can't talk about because there's something that I got specifically for my brother that I have a feeling he's listening to the show and I don't want to tell him.
You can't spoil it.
So once I give him the thing, I have one for myself as well. I will show it on stream. It is very, very cool. And I got some Lumafield swag. So they have lenticular things that show you the outside and then you turn it a little bit for the lenticular effect and it shows the inside.
Okay, that's really neat.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like, again, super, super awesome merch, and I hope they go to market with this pretty quickly.
If a company has good merch, you know that they're having fun.
Well, it's like, they're like, well, our core business isn't selling merch. I'm like, I know, but it could be from a B2C side. Like, you guys focus on, like, how many machines a month do you want to get rid of? Do you want, like, 10, 20 machines? Like, you could probably sell another machine worth of merch every single month if your merch looks like how your offices look. And one of their designers like, I've been telling them that. I'm like, listen to them. But I got a cool hat. That was cool.
I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous.
Yep. It was fun. It was very fun. And I hope to be back out there at some point. So I think it'd be fun. What else did we have to talk about? Was that it? I think that might have been it. Oh,
that was it.
Prusa went to a subscription model.
Oh, yes.
Prusa now has a subscription model.
Cloud service. Like
cloud service
and
for,
you know what? I'm okay with it.
For what the hell do we call it? Is it for Prusa Connect? I think it is.
I think it's for Prusa. That's what I thought it was.
I think
let me get the show notes up.
Well, it doesn't really describe what it is. But here's the deal. Okay. It is free forever. Okay, it is for Prusa Connect. Thank you. It is free forever, but you only now can store 1 gig worth of G-code and stuff like that in the cloud. If you want 20 gigs, it's $9 a month. Annually, it's $95 a year. Okay, which brings down to $8 a month, just under $8 a month. The premium, which is 100 gigs, is $300 a year or $25 a month. If you do it annually. If you do it monthly, it's $30 a month.
I mean, it's very obvious what they're catering for is on the basic and the premium tiers, you get print farm mode.
Yep, you get farm mode.
And you can slice multiple things at the same time.
Yep.
And you've got your camera backup, which is just telling me it's for print farms.
Yep.
The subscription service is so you can start a print while not being there and recording it for whatever reason and monitoring your printers. And you know what? If you are running a print farm and you're trying to earn money on it, you should probably be paying for some form of subscription anyway to manage your fleet.
Like, dude, $9 a month.
I'm okay with this. It's nothing.
Your Chat GPT or Claude subscription is more than that, and you don't use it as much as you might use this. So,
like literally,
I'm just saying,
it's £6.90. Also, I love the math error on the website. The HTML is getting rid of the zeros at the end, so it's just 6.9. 6.9 pounds.
Doesn't have that
hilarious.
for my side, but okay.
It's truncating the zero. So the number is very nice, I should say.
This episode is very nice. 269.
This episode is very nice. Nice. Yep. But that is a large drink from Costa.
Yeah.
It's not bad. Like 1 coffee a month, and you get access to the print farm stuff and parallel slicing.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. That. You upload your designs onto Printable, so you can just like parallel slice them whenever you need different variants. Done.
We forgot to mention, Prusa is going to have a self-hosted Prusa Connect variant.
Oh,
local
nice.
only.
That's
which, like,
very nice.
You want to get me to put my Prusas online? This is how you start to do it. You start to do it by giving me fully local options.
Yep.
So
I don't mind a cloud service as long as you can give me a lot of confidence if you also offer a local service.
Well, so they're getting rid of Prusa Link and it's being replaced with Prusa Connect Local. Right. And I'm assuming it's just going to be more of like a rebrand of Prusa Link. because Prusa Link and Prusa Connect didn't really make a lot of sense. So Prusa Connect and Prusa Connect Local make a lot more sense. So I'm glad they're cleaning that stuff up. Prusa is acting like more of the company that I'd like them to act like with some of these changes. So I think that's good. I do believe this is the first time we've seen a subscription service from a manufacturer, I think. I don't think Bamboo has a subscription service yet. If they do, it's locked behind custom pricing. At least that I'm aware of. But I don't think that having software like this designed for print farms locked behind a paywall is unreasonable, right? It's just, look, every business wants MRR or ARR. Okay, that's monthly recurring revenue or annual recurring revenue. That's what everybody wants. And Prusa will give you a discount if you pay annually, so you go from an MRR to an ARR customer. But they want that because guess what? Storage isn't cheap. Storage is not getting cheaper, guys. The SK Hynix CEO... What?
It's that stupid Ethernet cable.
I didn't actually do anything.
I know, it's the stupid Ethernet cable.
Oh, wherever you paused looked like you were totally just sitting still.
Oh, no, so my router, we got a new router.
Router?
We changed internet provider. Router.
Because Roto-Rooter is what comes to fix the toilet after a Taco Bell night.
And we found that if we even touch the Ethernet cable at all, it resets it.
Just use Wi-Fi.
It's not stable.
Should be.
It's 6E. No, it's just 6. Wi-Fi 6.
That's plenty.
But there's a lot of yobs on this street that ride around and they're definitely not safe to ride like e-scooters and e-bikes. And it knocks the Wi-Fi out every time.
Well,
plus,
whatever.
I've got a desktop. I've got a 2.5 gig uplink. I'm going to use an Ethernet cable.
Yeah, I mean, I have one too.
I've realized, I think the solder joint on the back of the port is kind of screwed.
Time to open it up.
I need to call them and be like, just send me a new one. I'm not even going to open it. I'm just going to be like, send me a replacement. I don't care what happens.
Or just get a PCIe NIC for it since it's a desktop.
No, as in it's the router side.
Oh, it's on the router side.
The connection into the router. So any movement on the router,
right.
Like if you wiggle it, it just turns the power off. I'm like, that's not normal.
Love that. Yeah, no, get a new one.
Yeah.
Dio Mendez says that Bamboo has the filament subscription, which is fine, right? That is...
it's annoying.
That is a way to get the filament for cheaper. I don't have an issue with it. Okay, Mike C8101 says more niche, but Zortrax had one since 2020. Okay, fine. That's fine. It's Zortrax, though. Like, do we really consider Zortrax a competitor in the common market? Because
I don't consider Zortrax a competitor back when they were at their peak.
I do. The M200, I think, was a great machine back in its heyday, but they very quickly played the same game that Prusa played, but they didn't learn. They played the complacency game. They got complacent. And I'm glad that Prusa is, with this plus upgrade path, actually learning that they can't stay complacent and they have to do updates. This is good. It's sooner than I expected, but it's good. And like, again, I think the thing that we should point out about the plus upgrades is it did not increase the price of a Prusa printer at all. So if you buy a Prusa printer today, it is the exact same price that it was a month ago. In theory, unless tariffs or something, I don't know. It is the exact same price as it was 2 weeks ago, right? And yeah, you get more features for no extra money, which I love. But yeah, there was a lot of hate online about Prusa Connect. I don't know. Part of me understands the hate because it was all free before and now it's not. So, like, what do you think?
It's hard to say. I am... Honestly, I'm okay with this. I am okay with subscription service for a cloud service. It just makes sense.
I don't have to like it to understand it.
Well, it's also... It's not for the regular person. The regular person's is still free.
Right. Right.
So...
An easy
the only
print...
benefits you're getting added if you pay for it is business-focused features, at which point I'm okay with it. because it's not like they're locking behind crucial features with a subscription. It's free. And there's a local version. No issues. I have no issues with this at all.
Rob Lutter put a picture of the CFO of Cloudflare in our Discord. Says this guy looks like he could kick Grant's ass. Okay, he's in a very nice dress shirt there. When he came out to me, he was in like a tight black t-shirt, right? And he's got some decent sized biceps on him. I thought this guy was security. Like, you know, he's all bald. He's kind of decently well built. You know, I thought he was security. I thought I was about to get thrown out. It's terrible. But anyways, I had to laugh that I was checking my Discord DMs. I'm like, oh my God, Rob Lutter, as always, going for it. But, yeah. It was a fun,
Sounds like you've had
crazy,
fun. Sounds like you've had a lot of fun.
Crazy week.
Would you do it again? That's the real question. Would you do it again?
If we had negotiated, so with this company specifically, not unless there's money on the table. So unless there is more money on the table, no, I would not. You only get one of these. It's like, I'm out. So let's talk about our costs real quick, right? I have the cost of getting, I have the cost of Carl, right? They paid for Carl's plane ticket, but I have the cost of having a camera operator there. I have editing costs. There's my time associated with it. All of that, right? There's so many costs associated that people don't understand from a content perspective. Yes, the free flight, the hotel, great. Love it. Thank you. But we don't do that more than once. Right. We're happy to do that to start a relationship, and we are hoping that we can turn this into a longer relationship with Infimaker, because I do think they have a cool product, and some things they told us off camera, off the record, very, very cool. The guy's like, you're a 3D printing channel. How do you know so much about CNC? Like, cause I'm a certified operator for CNC machines. Like, this is the kind of stuff that I like to do. And I'm a turbo nerd for things. This is just who I am. But yeah, he's like, yeah, your thoughts as to what future upgrades could be are already in the working path. So I said, cool. I just love that it fits on a 600 millimeter deep shelf. It just weighs 240 pounds, but it fits on a 600 millimeter deep shelf, which is crazy. That's just crazy. Crazy to me. But yeah, I don't know if there's much else to chat about today. What do you think?
No, I think that's everything. Like, I'll probably have a story of my own for next week, which is the car fiasco. You already know a bit of it because I called you. And anyone at the $10 tier or higher on the Patreon can actually see the story so far, where me and Rosie filmed ourselves doing an impromptu 700-mile round trip with absolutely zero planning and zero transportation to get to the ass end of the country to try and collect my car that I didn't even expect to buy.
Yep.
And before anyone asks, yes, my broken, clapped out Nissan Leaf is now being replaced with a broken, clapped out MG4. Because I never learnt the first time about buying something that was dodgy, and I've decided to do it a second time. And this time it's certified dodgy, because it's an insurance write-off.
Grand Custard says, could you not use the software that 3D Printing Nerd released instead of Prusa Connect? I am very hesitant to use community-made software because of a security issue, right? I don't know what level of security or anything like that Joel has put into it. It's not that I don't trust Joel. I just don't trust, especially vibe coded software. It's not something to trust.
Do you know what's really easy to double check?
What?
Send the entire GitHub repo into an AI and do specific security passes, and just get it to make you a recommendation list / if there is any vectors for attack, because AI has been mostly trained for cybersecurity. It's very good at finding bugs, errors, data exploits, things that could go wrong. Feed the entire repo into Claude and just be like, tell me, is this safe to use in a defense environment?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know for sure. I don't know for sure. I guess Jimmy says the MG4 is a great car. Wait, was that the car that you had, Jimmy? Was that an MG4? I don't know if it was. And then Vince78 said, anyone have any thoughts about the Lightmake L4 for individual print heads on 2 separate rails?
Yes. I like the concept. I don't like multi-head, multi-gantry, especially INDX, because everyone's heard my problems with INDX. Just get 4 machines instead of 1 machine with 4 heads. But the 1-head version, it's basically a 400 by 400 by 400 build volume with linear motors.
Linear motors. Yep.
And they look like they work, unlike the Magneto X.
Well, and that's I'm a little like worried regarding the Mag X and the issues that it's had all this time. I will say
they do say there is an input shaper.
And there is for Mag X as well.
I swear Mag X couldn't get an input shaper working because it fought with the firmware. They use closed loop, but they didn't use input shaping.
I'll have to check. I have a Mag X. I can check it.
But the Mag X had problems.
Yep. Oh yeah, it did.
Also,
Still does.
They're saying like 1 micron accuracy instead of the 3 micron accuracy of the Mag X, which tells me they probably built it to a slightly higher standard.
So I will say we have been in contact with Lightmake. We were slated to get an L4. Then they sent me a contract for it, and there's a few lines of the contract that I wasn't very happy with. One of them being their limit of liability. There was a unlimited limit of liability from my side to their side, and a $50,000 limit of liability from their side to my side. And I'm not okay with that. If it is not an even limit of liability, it's no dice. They also would have you force to do, if there is any liability that happens, or let's say there's a leak for whatever reason, and they come after you legally. The way that it was structured, our visas could be taken. And that is not a risk that we can take with trying to do business in China outside of them and other brands. So I said, if you remove the entire section about liability, fine. But if you don't remove it, then it's not something we can go forward with. And unfortunately, we did not come to a joint agreement on it. And that is okay. I don't have any hard feelings against Lightmake for that. It does look like a cool machine. I am a little hesitant, just kind of like with my experiences with the Mag X. Once it's out in the world, we will be reaching out to Lightmake again to try to get a machine in for review and for testing and for the review stuff that we're working on as well. Because I do want to see the magnets, and something that anyone with an implanted medical device should be aware of. Don't get a machine with linear motors if you have an implanted medical device. Please.
Just for reference, this machine is not getting a Class 2 EMC rating. This is going to be an industrial class rating.
Well, they don't even have covers over the magnets like the Magneto X did. They're just showing you the raw magnets, which I will admit,
trust me, covers won't change anything.
I know it doesn't change anything. It just makes it cleaner and easier to fish the screws out when you inevitably drop a screw.
I like seeing the magnets. I think it looks neater.
I do think it looks cooler. I think that it's a more polished product with covers.
I'm probably going to reach out to them just to see, can I get some of the linear motors?
I believe
on
they
their
do
own?
sell them. I believe they do sell the linear motors on their own.
No, not from Pure Poly.
I know.
From Lightmake.
Yes, I know.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Because I would love to get some.
Yeah, I think that this is going to be like, so we saw our early adopter and we kind of saw the issues with the early adopter. I'm hoping that Lightmake has taken a lot of the wins and losses from PO Poly with the Magneto X and adjusted it in their L4. But yeah, I'm stepping back on it at the moment. I'm going to wait to see what happens with the Kickstarter and go from there. Right. The only, like for Infimaker, the only caveat that they gave us was they don't want us, like, in the major videos that we film, actively comparing it to other brands in the space, which is fair. Like,
that makes sense.
Totally fair.
That does make sense.
Right. But they're like, if you're talking about it, like in a live stream, comparing it is going to happen. That's okay. But in an edited video, it is their request. It's not even technically contractually obligated. It is their request that we don't compare it to other hobby grade CNC mills, which totally fair, right? Because otherwise you just become a, this versus this kind of channel. And it's better to let the different brands, if you're going through objective-based testing, you can put them on a website side by side and see where they stand on this objective-based testing. Okay. And you can draw your own conclusions. Coming soon, TM. I am sincerely hoping end of September, but it's a lot of work. Anyways, I think that we can call it unless you got anything else you want to talk about.
Nah, I think that's everything, especially because I'm now disowning my brother-in-law.
That makes sense. And then, yeah, I guess we can add at the end, if there are filament manufacturers, materials manufacturers, printer manufacturers, CNC manufacturers that have watched this far and said, I like the way these guys talk, then maybe you should reach out to us. Not only so you can sponsor the show, but also so that we can get your materials, machines, whatever, in for testing and put it through the gauntlet. Because who knows? Your machine might do so well it becomes the industry standard until it's knocked off the pedestal. Because we are going to have a king. There will be a king. We don't know yet what it's going to be, but whatever machines that we have that test the highest will be the one that we use as the ISO standard until someone else knocks it off the path. So I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, it's going to be good. And trust me, I'll be submitting my own. And Grant will not pull any punches.
No, if anything, I'm going to be harder on yours than others.
I know, I'm expecting it.
Right.
I'm going to bribe you with
Marmite.
No, Marmite.
Marmite coated Scherstrumming. God, that would be so bad. Blech. Speaking of, we do need to figure out Smurf in 27.
Yeah.
What we're gonna do to raise money. So we gotta figure that out. Anyways,
that'll be fun.
Yes, Mitch, you missed the rants. Literally, we're doing our outro. We've been live for over 3 hours. Love you a long time, Mitch.
You're so late.
We love you, but you're late.
If you are now part of the rant, the late rant.
If you guys do want to support the podcast and the efforts that we do here, you can do so by joining for as little as $1 a month. Links are in the description down below. The $10 tier, how you get to come hang out in our super secret Discord, where we will be live there hanging out with the members as soon as this show is over. So you can come hang out there as well. But that is all we have for you all today. Make sure to check out the sponsors as well. Links are in that description. We still haven't figured out the filament giveaway. I'm sorry. And yes, we do still need to buy accommodations for Smurf. That's all I have for you all today. Stay safe out there. Don't forget to call your loved ones. And as always, keep making awesome.
Stay safe out there, everyone.
And go enjoy hanging out with Steve Builds.
Go do it.
We'll see you all later. And I got it right this time. See ya.
Hey.